Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Blue Thunder Pod AEW Edition. I'm your host, Billy Sullivan. With me, as always, my mom's favorite podcast host, and he's ready for some wheeler-on-wheeler action, Dave Linovich.
Twice?
We get to open Collision,
no.
wheeler-on-wheeler action, Cash Wheeler. Against Wheeler Yuta in a tag match, but yeah, Wheeler on Wheeler, and Cash makes reference to it in the match.
Oh, I like half of that a lot. I hate half of that.
So on the bright side for you, Dave, is that you didn't have to watch it because we're starting a new thing this week. If you guys listen to our WWE podcast, you heard this already, but doing a thing called Tell Me About, in which Dave watches SmackDown, I watch Collision, and vice versa, do not watch those shows. So like on the AEW podcast, as today, I'm going to be telling Dave about what happened on Collision. On our WWE broadcast, Dave tells me all about what happened on Smackadoon.
That's right.
So right now, Dave.
I hope you had a better time at Collision than I did watching SmackDown.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
I did. Do you want me to do something?
Depends.
Do you want me to?
You should tell me about what happened on Collision.
I'd be delighted to, Dave. It was, you know what? I think I've been missing out because I've kind of, because of the amount of wrestling that we've been watching, I've been slacking on my Collision watching. Really, only going and watching, like when something piqued my interest that I saw online, I would go watch this segment or whatever. If every Collision is as fun as this Collision was, I've been missing out. I would say I'm happy that I'm now going to be going back on a weekly basis and watching Collision because they actually did some story stuff. It wasn't just match of the week stuff, which it kind of had been the last time I watched Collision in total. The show this week opened. Oh, I should say. There was about 2,500 people in Mid-America Center in Council Bluff, Iowa. But again, the Mid-America Center is a smaller arena. So that 2,500 or so, it may have got up to 3,000 by game time.
Probably sounded like 5,000.
Sounded really good.
Acoustics, baby.
Looked really good.
Yeah.
Because it's a smaller place. And that's everything. It's just booking the right size house. And
he has been getting progressively better.
He has been. I've noticed that we have been bitching about it much, much less, and he has only been booking bigger houses, seemingly for like the bigger shows, the bigger pay-per-views and stuff.
I love it.
I do too, because it makes Collision a hell of a lot more fun to watch when it sounds like a bunch of people that are having fun.
Yeah.
Which this did. It was good.
Not guys yelling, "Who wrote this shit?"
Yeah, exactly. Hey, well, there was a couple of things on Collision and Dynamite. They still are getting some solid, funny-ass lines from people timing it and yelling out audible things on both shows.
Well, now they know it's on the table.
The crowd, the crowds, they sounded good on both shows, though.
Right.
And like I said, this one, like about 2,500, but it felt like a full house, and it looked like it, too. Opening match was Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, Dave's favorite tag team in the whole wide world.
Wait, which version of Claudio? Is he Terminator Claudio again?
Pretty BBC BBC Claudio. Up against FTR. And some Wheeler-on-Wheeler action. So we got Cash Wheeler. And what's going to be the last Dax match probably in a little while. Because the news came out shortly after this aired, this episode, that Dax has been kind of hiding an injury. And that's partly, I guess, why he's been wearing the Ishii bad guy from Indiana Jones belt. Because he had I don't know if it was a herniated disc or an actual hernia, but something in that area of his body that he finally brought to the attention of Tony Khan and management or whatever. So he's now on the shelf.
All right.
Probably shouldn't have been wrestling through that, Dax. I know you're a tough guy, but
especially at an Anarchy in the Arena fucking match.
They could have found
this is not
a substitute. They have a roster of about 500 very talented people.
This is not 1980. You're not going to lose your spot.
You work for the company that very openly broadcasts that they like to give people time off when they're injured to heal up.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, take advantage of it.
Yes.
You're not going to be not as over.
No.
I do enjoy that they call him Dax the Axe, always on commentary here, but I wish they would start doing Cash the Smash too. It's an homage to Axe and Smash.
Oh, that's right there.
So, like, that's why they are Dax and Cash. They chose that because they wanted to pay homage to Demolition.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They've said
okay.
it. Yeah. So, and now they're doing the Axe thing. So it's like directly, but do Cash and Smash or Smash or Cash, something like that. I, at this point, did not know that Dax was fucked up. So my note was, I guess Dax is sticking with the Ishii cummerbund because he's wearing the Ishii cummerbund at this point. And my next note being, sorry, Dave, Wheeler Yuta is a good wrestler. He just is. He's a pretty good wrestler. I know he's annoying.
This company has no shortage of good wrestlers. They have a real bad problem with bad character development. They're getting better. This guy is like the little brother nobody wants around.
I agree, and that's why you're going to be happy that Nigel on commentary said during this match that perhaps it's time for Wheeler to start taking advice from somebody else. They alluded to
it's time for Wheeler to perhaps take lots of sleeping pills and go off this mortal coil.
That's not very nice to say about
No, so he can go to sleep.
Wheeler.
I didn't say more to like.
He was probably the last Jon Moxley match that I really, really loved was Wheeler Yuta. But they made reference to maybe breaking up the BCC, which would be wonderful because that's all anybody wants.
Yes.
Except the people in house, evidently. Every one of these shows, they seem to love the Blackpool Combat Club. Everybody I've ever talked about this in real life or online, really desperately wants that group to break up. And Nigel alluded to that potentially happening. The match itself is exactly what you expect out of a BCC FTR match. They fucking smack the hell out of each other. Yeah. I will say, again, I'm not just saying this because I'm talking to you and I'm trying to like salt in the wound or anything, but Yuta was the standout of the match. I mean, they're obviously trying to shine him up because he just came back from injury, but it's pretty impressive that he's back to this level after being out as long as he was. There was a point during the match that Cash Wheeler hit Wheeler Yuta with
baseball bat,
one of those big giant
golf club
forearm thingies that he throws, and Wheeler fell to the ground, and Cash looked out at the audience and yelled, "Wheeler on Wheeler violence," which I thought was pretty funny and very fun. I also at that point in time noted that I think Cash Wheeler would make like a really good teammate, even on like a pickup basketball team. He seems like the kind of guy that would like be willing to, grind it out, go in there for the things that nobody else wants to do, tough rebounds,
diving for the loose balls.
Yeah, exactly. Not trying to get the like the highlight, not be on the highlight reel, just help you to win.
Right.
A grinder kind of guy.
Hoagies and grinders, navy beans, meatloaf sandwich.
Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe.
Me and Sloppy Joe got married. Got 6 kids and we're doing just fine. I don't want to talk about Wheeler Yuta. I'm so pissed he's back.
I won't right now. Because Cash and Claudio do a fucking like tope into European uppercut spot. Cash doing looks just awesome. It's Cash doing his Darby Allin impersonation into Claudio just doing the best ass.
Cash flies around like if you're like clicking and dragging like the little yellow guy on Google Maps. That's how his body moves.
Yes, and he's built like
flails around.
Fred Flintstone, so he shouldn't be able to.
That was better. Yours was better.
But yeah, he did that Cash like tope and then caught the Claudio to the mush with the European uppercut. It was awesome looking. We got a double sharpshooter face slappy spots, which was very fun.
Okay.
And both Baldies had the sharpshooters on in looking each other's eyes and fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you. And then they couldn't handle their anger with each other, so they started slapping each other and led to the sharpshooters being dropped out because they couldn't do the move and also smack the hell out of each other at the same time. But it was fun. I said, I approve of the "This is awesome" chant that erupted shortly after that. It felt like an earned one rather than the bunch of spots, "This is awesome" chant that you sometimes get. This was a pretty goddamn great match. We saw a power and glory, which I'm always a fan of, that was countered by the knees up, which looked dope too, because it was unexpected, and that led to a giant AEW chant. Nigel said, Dax the Ox is lying prone. Or is that supine? I've never been a medical man. I very much enjoyed that. Nigel's is great.
Well, which way was he laying? Is he face down?
I didn't notice because I was like slumped over, clutching my belly from laughter, because Nigel was
being funny,
being very, very funny.
Prone is face down. Supine is face down.
Is supine's on your back?
Yeah. Supine is.
So
down.
Rocky is prone currently.
He technically, yeah. For him, I'm not sure his orientation.
I mean, he lays on his back sometimes, and then he'd be supine, right?
Yeah, technically, you're right. Yeah.
You just told me the front was fine.
No, but like I don't know, like what is?
If it's a dog, it's different because his front is like his nose.
I can't tell. Yeah.
Cash Wheeler sells the big spin, Claudio's big spin, better than anybody else on earth.
Yeah,
he does. I've seen him do it a few times now, but he does it here. He does the thing where he doesn't just hold his head and try not to throw up. He like whips his arms around like, oh my God, please stop doing this.
Yeah.
The whole time. It's amazing. I really hope he like enters himself into the own or something now that Dax is out, because I don't want Cash off my TV.
Yeah.
Just because Dax is out. I mean, I love them both, but I keep Cash doing things. Give him a little singles run or something. He's worth it. He's great. He's great enough to give a little push. I wouldn't even mind seeing a secondary title on him for a little bit. If
cool.
Dax is going to be out for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I like that.
And we know that they're brothers. They are always going to come back together. So, like, yeah, give him a little rub. Surprisingly, at this point in the match, we get the 1 minute remaining, which I was not expecting on a TV match. I mean, I am a fan of time limit draws in general, as long as they're not overused, which they have not been to this point. But we haven't seen one in a while, and so I was kind of surprised in a kickoff show on Collision that we got the 1 minute warning. I'm like, huh. Claudio gets crossface in the middle of the ring on Cash. He ends up transferring, and when Cash is not tapping, transferring that into a Rings of Saturn, which I love that move. And they called it a Rings of Saturn too, which I'm like, nice. Perry Saturn, super underrated guy.
Yeah.
I'll get to make another Perry Saturn reference on Dynamite as well. But like as Claudio's struggling to get Cash to not really tap out, because when you're in Rings of Saturn, you got both your arms are behind your back, but to submit would not time limit expired. Dax immediately gets on the mic, and because they're FTR, I know you boys are not satisfied with that. We came out here to beat each other's asses. We need 5 more minutes. The Blackpool Combat Club seems to absolutely agree. They're in lockstep, so they're doing their babyface version right now. But yeah, they're ass kickers too, and it's been a great match. They want 5 more minutes too. At this point, Brandon Cutler, in just spectacular looking gear, comes out carrying a clipboard with a contract on it, which apparently has been sent to him just now by the Bucks. He says the EVPs, but the Bucks, saying that this contract clearly states that this match was signed and set for 20 minutes, not 25, not 30. And as he's walking into the ring, Claudio grabs Cutler and immediately puts him in the giant swing to a gigantic pop. People fucking went nuts for it.
I like that.
Yeah, he's very stoogey, a very good stooge.
Is this the first time he's done anything like that?
I haven't seen Cutler in 8 months.
That's a great role for him.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. He's
very
whiny, fucking crybaby, and it was a good candidate for a big swing.
Yeah.
In the crowd.
Did he have his face mask on?
Went ape shit for him. Yeah,
of course.
I think he may have gone flying off when he got into the big swing too. He's a good seller too. So and then Claudio's actually slingshots Cutler into a shatter machine.
That's pretty cool
for the crowd. Yeah, it was dope as hell, and the crowd went nuts. Claudio said after the match, gets on the mic and says, I'm not shaking hands with you because that is too cliche, but I'll say this: anytime, anywhere you want to run it back, you're on. So both walk away looking pretty good, pretty tough.
One of those guys doesn't look tough at all.
I'm telling you, he had a nice match. Like,
happy for
my
him.
final note of the opening match was, sorry, Dave, this ruled. It was so much fun. Yeah. It was like a dope match.
I've never heard you say Wheeler Yuta's bad in the ring.
Yeah,
right?
No.
Because that's not an
I'm
issue.
consistent with that.
That's not an issue. He's consistent with that. He's good in the ring. However,
you've never heard me say Wheeler Yuta is not a whiny bitch. Otherwise, because he is. I agree with you.
The blandest, unnecessary human on that show.
I think he's miscast, personally.
I agree. He has a job.
I've seen him do work that I really do enjoy. It's indies stuff.
Yeah.
He feuded with Daniel Garcia as a heel, but a different kind of heel, and it was good.
Right.
His character just doesn't. I'm with you.
Oh, he has a character?
Work. Yeah, exactly.
Are you sure? In a stable full of fucking super popular former WWE guys? This bag of shit who hit the Life Lottery? I'm not even like being facetious. I don't like him on my television.
I know you don't like him. I'm saying I think you could grow to if he was given a better spot as far as character goes.
He tried to have character and he just screamed a lot. Like, remember when he tried to feud with was it Daniel Garcia?
It's the wrong kind of character.
But like,
yeah, he did feud with Garcia for a while.
From the jump,
and we got awesome matches. But like, it has not worked character-wise with him
from the jump, and that was the unanimous thing. Daniel Garcia should have been in Blackpool Combat Club. Wheeler Yuta should have been in the Jericho thing.
Yeah, yes,
it was the most blatant mistake ever.
And
that they put these like, what are you doing?
I'm not going to disagree with you at all there. He 100%, Daniel Garcia 100% fits better
it would have
with
been,
that aesthetic, with that the way they wrestle, with like.
It would have been brutal.
He's also Garcia. I'm praising Wheeler Yuta here, but Garcia is the much better prospect. He just is. He's the guy that
he has a character.
And he's like
he could talk
freak in the ring. Yes. Like he's not just good in the ring; he's a freak in the ring. So yeah, it would have fit better.
That'd have been great. Glad he's
they
back.
do seem to be doing something with Garcia again. I'll believe it when it comes to fruition. Garcia and Takeshita, I'm kind of same on. I'm like, until you fucking do a big thing, I'm not going to believe that you're going to do a big thing. But they do. They have started both on this show and on Dynamite. They started a thing with Garcia.
I mean, McDonald's has the Shamrock Shake once a year. It does really well too. So,
yeah. That's what like I said. Until it's done, until the big thing happens, the title win or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to believe it.
No.
But they're telling us that they're going to try to start a thing with Daniel Garcia.
I hope so. And Takeshita.
Right now, we got Kyle O'Reilly in a backstage with your favorite interviewer, Lexi Nair.
I know her.
Kyle says he's excited for his main event against Orange Cassidy. So the main event of the show is Orange Cassidy against fucking Kyle O'Reilly.
That sounds all right.
Hell yeah.
That sounds okay. Damn it, that's a great main event.
He like really putting over Orange, saying he's the guy that put the international title on the map, which is true. Roddy Strong interrupts and says, just so you know, we're here for you. And since I've beaten Orange Cassidy twice, which is true, I'd be the perfect guy to give you advice. Kyle O'Reilly reiterates that, while I appreciate your support, even though they did attack him at one point, I don't need it. It's not that time for me in my career. I don't need your support. And then Roddy says, just remember what you told me when you first came back, which I thought was like maybe a throwaway line, but then commentary actually like reiterated, wait, what did he tell him? Mm-hmm. Do we know what he told him? So it's a story beat. We don't know, where yet, but it does carry over to Dynamite as well.
Okay.
I just don't know what the thing was that he said. Maybe he said, don't break my heart again, Cody.
Could be. Well, it would be the end of Heartache.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
I think you've said end of Heartache on every single episode of Blue Thunderpod.
Yeah.
As much as I say, I got you. I
have a Cal Ripken-like streak of making sure finishers are properly called out. Because that's a great finisher and it's a great name.
Absolutely. The next thing we hear is on the mic over, within the crowd. Here's this. It's on the PA. It's Big Stokely. Ladies and gentlemen, get out of your seats and get on your feet because it's Saturday night.
I like that.
I like that too.
A lot.
Chris Statlander comes out with Big Stoke for her match versus Robin Renegade, who's not in for a fun night.
Did Robin Renegade have a big R on her cheek so we knew that? No?
Which one's which?
Yeah.
No, she did not. It wasn't. She wouldn't be out there long enough for it to matter. Statlander's got awesome new heel music, and she looks like fucking Darth Vader now. She's
all blacked out.
Her gear is darker, both in concept and actually it's like literally darker. But she just looks like a monster coming out, and with the total heel music, it's got kind of a, I don't know, like a synth vibe to it, like a dark synth, like a Michael Mann movie or something.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's good heel music. And she's got a new Tron. That's all dope too. Oh, you know what? I said Darth Vader just now. The comp I made in my notes was that Statlander looks like fucking Prime Vader, like the wrestler in the ring here. She just smashes the fucking shit out of Robin Renegade. Like, as hard as she hit as a babyface, they nothing. She's really leaning into, I am a monster, and you're not going to be able to beat me now.
Is she the only monster woman that the division has?
Yeah. Right. I mean, they used Nyla Rose for a while in that role, but they haven't for forever. She's been on TV in forever.
Right.
And, I mean, Statlander's just the best. She's the best, like,
yeah,
doing it in the ring. I can't think of a better woman hoss ever in wrestling.
Well, they can't either because she's the one that took the title off of Jade.
Yeah.
They
absolutely.
got faith in her, man.
Yeah. And that's like, I mean, she's now probably like a year removed from the last ACL. I think it was the only thing that was holding her back was they were worried about the knees. And now it's been quite a while since she's had an injury.
Right.
So they're going forward. I love the Stokely pairing too. He's incredible. And with the full repackage, it's clear that this is like all systems go on the Statlander push. Yeah. You don't get the new good music, new good Tron stuff like your mouthpiece. She doesn't need as much now because she can talk a little bit all of a sudden.
But also, too, with Willow doing a fair amount of lifting promo-wise, Stokely's going to talk a lot
Absolutely,
more
and so that's always a
massive
positive.
Massive positive, yeah.
One of the coolest things, the spots in the match itself, Robin Renegade goes to throw a punch, and Statlander counters it by punching her punch. Like, punches her fucking fist out of the air. It was dope as hell. It's like a giant set out power bomb. Right after that, goes right into the tombstone finisher that she uses.
Right.
But this time, she puts it's kind of like a Gotch style pile driver thing where you put the one arm over.
Yep.
Well, she put the one arm over and then did a taunt to the crowd wave before she finished Renegade off. She just rules at this point. Stokely gets on the mic, says, "This woman standing next to me, she's an inspiration. She's my muse. The reason I get up in the morning. Because I wish I had the strength of Chris Statlander." And she's doing poses. "I wish I had the speed of Chris Statlander." And she does like some running in place kind of thing. It looks like very good heel kind of shit. "And I wish I could decimate an entire division like Chris Statlander. I just talked to my best friend, Tony Khan, and we were actually on the same page for a change. Told him that Stat was the past, present, and future of AEW. And she is going to be the first TBS and world champ.
I like that.
First ever win both.
I like that.
She is the very first entrant, as of right now, in the Owen Hart Cup.
Good.
Which, by the way, the Owen Hart Cup, did you see what the stakes are this year?
Yep.
World title shot at fucking Wembley.
You see who's in the tournament as a result?
At the end of the AEW pod here, we can go over the entire, because a number of them get revealed. Holy shit, dude. It looks like amazing. It's stacked. It's like stacked also with a couple of people I didn't even think of that they were options, and it's awesome. And the stakes are, I don't know, 1 billion times higher than they've been for this tournament that really didn't have stakes before. Now all of a sudden it's a title shot at your biggest show.
Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is the Royal Rumble, basically. And because of that, like you said, the people that are putting their names into the hat here are the cream of the crop of the entire company,
right?
Basically, and Statlander was the very first one.
Look at what the King of the Ring did, just with basic acknowledgement. It felt bigger this year, and like
it was making me crazy because they weren't talking about it, and I was like, I could swear that they were getting a title shot, but they didn't say it enough.
Yeah,
and then right before they're like, yeah, it's for a title shot.
Yeah,
like, yes, good.
It felt bigger this year than it has in forever.
Of course,
just you got a thing, do a thing with it. Also, all these matches, like now I was just saying about Wheeler Yuta, the matches are always great. Now, you don't need build. Like when a tournament is done correctly.
That's the benefit of a sports adjacent broadcast.
When it's
if
done,
you do it right.
When you do it right.
You don't need to build in. Like as much as I love the live stuff on like Raw, it's fun for a different reason.
Yeah.
This is a sport.
Right.
It's supposed to feel like UFC-ish.
But this company does not. Like, they have a lot of tournaments. There's another one for the TNT title, so there's like 2 simultaneous tournaments going on.
But both tournaments have stakes.
But one feels way worse than the other
Well, the TNT's not a tournament.
Is it not?
Mm-mm.
It's a ladder match.
It's a bunch of matches that are getting you into a ladder match.
But, like, they've had tournaments forever in this company, and it's just like, okay, another tournament.
This one feels like the stakes are way bigger than anything else because it's the biggest stakes they've ever put on a tournament.
Book things special and have actual stakes that are very cool, and you get what you get. Getting
the appropriate response from the
you get the right players,
the people too, the people that would want to be in this tournament now. Like
that's it.
Everybody's wouldn't be jumping or chomping at the bit to get into the Owen before because it was you win a trophy and you get a little thing on TV for after. Now it's like fucking. You get to be in the main event of our biggest show.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody wants that.
Absolutely. I agree.
Stat is just at the end of this little segment after she smeared Robin Renegade and they cut the promo announcing her entrance. She jumps down out of the ring, and I don't know if she'd been doing this before, but I hadn't seen it. She helps Stokely get out of the ring by grabbing him by the waist and like picking him up and putting him down gingerly onto the. Yeah, I do too.
That's pretty funny.
I liked everything about the Statlander thing. Backstage, Hot Willow Nightingale is remaining hot.
Yeah. Who saw that?
Lexi Nair asked her about what she thinks about Statlander entering the cup. Willow was just walking in. To the building, so like she was doing her wheelie suitcase thing, so she was like surprised, kind of taken aback, and says, well, as last year's winner, I guess I too will be entering the Owen. So we got Willow and Stat in the goddamn Owen Cup already. Like good start for your tournament.
Really quickly, I said quietly there when you're like, oh, still hot, and I said, who'd have thought? What I meant was, like, how would we land in the conclusion that she's like, oh, she's a badass worker, and then like abruptly we're like, what's that all about?
Yeah, she became.
That's a new wrinkle. So
it wasn't. Kids like to call a glow up.
Yeah. yes, that's a great way to put it.
She got a glow up.
Yeah, I was. Of course, you could expect it because it happened.
Then Lexi Nair says because
who? How'd you know her name?
Because they've said it many times on television. I pay attention. Willow, what are you doing here tonight? Because you're not booked on the card. Okay. And AEW sticks to, tries to stick to making sense. And she just says, just wanted to keep an eye on the action. So she's obviously going to interject herself into something a little later. Next, we get the natural Dustin Rhodes versus Johnny TV with Taya Valkyrie in a very clearly who is going to win this match so they can lose that Dynamite match. But it's Dustin who he fucking rolls. Johnny TV's physique is still bananas despite, I looked this up, being just about exactly the same age as me. We were born less than a month apart.
No shit.
And he has 15-pack, 16-pack. I guess it's got to be even number. It'd be fucking pretty weird if it was.
Yeah.
Although sometimes the dudes like have this abs that go all the way super high. It does look like one muscle at the top, so it would make it an uneven number. But Johnny TV still physically looked great. He doesn't quite have what he used to in the ring, like mobility-wise, but he's still solid. And he's absolutely incredible for a 40, almost 5-year-old.
Right.
Dustin does a spot where he rolls out of the ring and kind of puts his arms around Taya, and he does his Gold Dust thing. I was always happy to see like a callback to something from my childhood or throughout his career, and it carries a little bit more meaning because I getting a feeling after what happens here and on Dynamite with Dustin that well, we'll talk about it, but it carries a little bit more heft. Johnny TV then comes to her rescue by hitting a rolling senton from the apron, which is pretty dope. Dustin continues to just be Dustin. He's awesome, and he's super, super over here. The 2,500 or whatever that were in attendance, we're all full-throatedly cheering for the man. Johnny tries to do like the drop-down Rhodes smack, like the classic Rhodes punch thing. Dustin sees it coming, obviously, and evades it very easily. Hits it himself. Hits his still absolutely beautiful snap power slam. It's amazing that he's able to do it at his age. Then a code red. Then he sets up Johnny TV for the Shattered Dreams. And Nigel says, "No, Dustin, they're still trying to have kids." Again, Nigel popped me. He's incredible on commentary. They have such good announcers. Taya saves Johnny from the getting his balls kicked. And then the ref, shout out Frankie, hits his finishing maneuver and boots her, and the place goes nuts.
Right.
He goes for Starship Pain, misses it, and Nigel says it was more like Starship Crash, which, again, popped me because Nigel's great. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a Shivani. I'm giving credit incorrectly. It was Shivani said Starship Crash is more like it. Crossroads for the win. The more important thing that happened here is Dustin gets on the mic at this point, and does a very, very, very good promo. First thing he says, he's all out of breath, and he's like, "Oh God, I am getting old, guys." And then immediately, "You still got a chant," erupts in the arena. He thanks all of his fans, all the people, for sticking with him for almost 6 decades, which is goddamn. That's
outrageous.
Almost 6 decades.
Yeah, that feels like a long time.
He thanks Tony Khan, thanks all the boys and girls in the back. He really wants to thank the cameramen because he's like, nobody gives these guys credit, and they work their asses off.
What's this about?
Which very much feels like a retirement speech, right? He doesn't outright say it, but like it really felt like it. But next, what I really want to talk about, and the reason I came out here, what pisses me off is my opponent for Dynamite in the elimination match for the TNT title ladder match, Scapegoat Jack Perry. I'm disgusted by you. You always talk about sacrifice, but you were born with a goddamn silver spoon in your mouth. You don't know a goddamn thing about sacrifice. The crowd's eating all this up. You ain't sacrificed shit. Very, very hard times promo energy he's giving off here too. Yeah. So he's like doing like odes to his dad, thanking cameramen.
Wait, who's his dad?
Cody Rhodes, I think.
It might as well be at this point. Was he sobbing like a blubbering mess too?
No, Cody got all the cry genes. I will say Cody versus Dustin still like
one of the best matches ever
all time.
Yeah, fucking amazing.
Dustin says, "You and I have this match on Wednesday, and I'm going to destroy your punk ass. You can't beat me in a fair fight." It was just a really, really good promo with some like very heavy "I'm retiring" overtones like peppered in.
So where's it going?
Well, it leads to the match on Dynamite that we'll talk about when we get to Dynamite. I'll tell you now, there isn't an official thing been made.
Yeah.
But post the match on Dynamite, I would not be surprised if we get like a goodbye announcement.
You think Wembley?
Possibly.
Yeah.
But like I think maybe Dustin has wrestled his last match.
Period.
Like already. Like has wrestled his last match.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll get an official like announcement, in-ring announcement from him, but I don't think there's going to be another match.
Right. Okay.
They did a lovely little video package that informed me of something I did not know was occurring. That made me very happy when I hear the dulcet tones of Zack Sabre Jr. saying, "Orange bollocks, we've got some unfinished business to attend to. See you at Forbidden Door." So we're getting Zack Sabre Jr. Against Orange Bollocks. I love last year when he did the Orange Bollocks thing, but that was in a multi-man. Now we're getting the one-on-one with two of the best wrestlers on earth. So fucking
definitely don't hate that.
Hell yes. I like, you know what? It's kind of a benefit to us, I think, that New Japan is in the toilet a little bit because we're getting a lot of like different-y stuff.
Right.
For Forbidden Door. We're getting a bunch of like CMLL people that are kind of interesting. We're getting people, sounds like we're going to, now that they've worked out their differences, you get some people from the other Conan's.
Triple A
too. And then we're getting like
Triple A, Timma.
Yeah, and then we're getting people like Zack Sabre, who does work for New Japan, but for multiple promotions, and he's British, kind of thing. And he's an unbelievable promo. He is taken right out of a like Guy Ritchie out of Snatch or Lockstock. That's how the man talks, and it's wonderful. And I love the orange bollocks thing. It's just great. It's a great fucking rip to do on somebody. The premier athletes. You were asking who the fuck are the other two guys when we saw Tony Nese and his tiny niece last week. Well, turns out it was Arya Davari and Smart Mark Sterling, that's the premier athletes, and they are up against two jabronis. So there's something happening here,
right.
And it was just the squishity for the Tony Nese.
Squishity boop.
Went like 2 minutes or something. Then we got the strangest thing that happened in the wrestling week to me. We got a backstage pre-tape Scorpio Sky.
Hey, I forgot about him.
Me too.
Yeah.
Got a pretty decent backstage, just him down the pipe of the camera, talking about your heroes. They all let you down, but I'll be your hero. I'll be your champion, with a very ominous tone. Mm-hmm. Very clearly he's a heel, but it sounds like they're doing a thing with him. The way he cut this promo, it sounds like they're going to put him into something substantial. Because he's got this new character. I'll be your hero. I'll be your champion because I'm here for you. It's a pretty good promo. He's usually kind of a dog shit promo. This is decent. It's a pre-tape, so I'm not really interested in Scorpio Sky.
Not even a little bit.
But
I want to be. He's fucking good.
Yeah, he is. And maybe this will be a thing that'll make him interesting.
Yeah.
We then get Timeless Tony Storm with Luther and Mariah May versus Lady Frost in a wonderful little match.
Okay.
My favorite spot in the match was Lady Frost does an Irish whip. Tony Storm's about to hit her with something, and Lady Frost just says "freeze" because she's Lady Frost.
Sure. And
Tony Storm immediately turns to the camera hard cam and freezes in a Hollywood pose. So apparently that's a cheat code you can use on Tony Storm.
That's kind of funny.
To say to freeze, and she immediately goes.
It's like yelling, "Andy's coming."
Yes. Good match. Or super hard hitting, both of them. One of the most wicked hip attacks I've seen Tony do in quite a while. Lady Frost can really take it. She's a long-time veteran. I love her. Tony's sky high. She hits that. Frost actually does a series of pretty dope counters to near falls that almost had me biting. I know Tony's not losing the title on Collision to Lady Frost, but she worked the match well enough that it bit on a couple of the falls.
Right.
Lady Frost goes for her cartwheel thing, that thing she does. She gets caught in the middle of it, and Tony hits the stump pile driver in the middle of her cartwheel. It was pretty.
Oh, that's kind of
cool looking. Yeah. It's just a neat little spot. After the match, Tony, she wins with the stump pile driver. Tony calls Mariah May to come sit with her. She's sitting on the ring apron. Calls Mariah to come sit next to her, and says, "I know me having this match against Mina Shirakawa at Forbidden Door must be very difficult for you, sweetheart. But I care so much about you, and I want you to have every advantage that I never had. So as of right now, I am demanding, as champion, that Mariah May be entered into the Women's Owen Cup."
Hope so.
So she is officially entered into the Owen Cup. So now we get Mariah May's third entrance into this fucking unbelievable looking. Tony's doing full ass motherly babyface stuff too here. Which leads me to believe that when the turn does come, when Mariah does inevitably choose Mina Shirakawa, that's where we'll get our babyface heel thing.
Sure.
Cool.
Okay. I like all that.
Backstage with Lexi Nair.
It's better than SmackDown already.
Yeah, it's much better than SmackDown. And it didn't get worse here because it was Shane Taylor Promotions and Top Flight doing a across from one another thing. Dante asks for a friendly competition match among them. Okay. Shane Taylor basically says, fuck off. And he weirdly kind of puts over Action Andretti. So I have a feeling Action Andretti is joining Shane Taylor Promotions in some way.
Why not?
Yeah. I mean, it was good to see Shane Taylor getting some TV time and talking, getting to cut a promo. And, I mean, it buried Top Flight a little bit, but like, they're doing a thing, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah. The
next thing was a thing that I really loved, and it carried over into Dynamite, which like even further sold me on it. Samoa Joe and Hook backstage. Joe says to camera, like the whoever's holding the camera, "Hey, speak and spell. You got this. You got this. Follow us." And the robot lady voice that responds, "Yes." Intimates that it's Shibata who's carrying the camera.
He's the cameraman?
Yeah, so he's following these two. And as they're walking, you can't tell where they're going. It's down a hallway. And Joe is she's chatting with Hook. And he's like, so what's the deal with lacrosse anyway? Is it some kind of new sport you kids just invented or what? And Hook's like, yo, it's the oldest sport in America. And Joe is like perplexed by this. And he's like, wait, you're trying to tell me that a game that's half hockey and half soccer is the oldest sport in America? And Hook's like, yeah, bro, older than both. And Joe just like kind of shakes his head. He's like, that don't make no sense, man. As they approach the door that they're now approaching, Joe takes a breath and looks to Hook, and he's like, you ready? And Hook just says, yeah, let's get it. They whip the door open. Joe yells, what's up, fellas? And commence to beat the fucking shit out of Tony Nese and Arya Daivari, who are in the locker that they now have invaded. They just beat the hell out of them, grab a hold of Mark Sterling, and like Hook is about to murder him too. And Joe says, wait, this is important. This part's important too. And like very menacingly says to Mark Sterling, we did this to you. Remember that. We did this to you. Like he's teaching Hook how to be a real badass.
Right.
They leave Sterling like pissing his pants in a puddle on the floor, and the other two just wiped out. And the robot voice behind the camera then says, there's no crying in wrestling. At Mark Sterling.
Okay.
Which I giggled at. I love the Samoa. I said I'm giving it a chance, see where it goes. Love the Samoa Joe, Hook, Shibata new trio that they're clearly building.
Sure.
And into Dynamite as well. They just have really, really good chemistry together. Mm-hmm. Daniel Garcia with Danny Magic on commentary versus something called Tate Mayfairs, which is apparently a British guy that Nigel like puts over huge, saying I guess he's a progress promotion. You know that all the British guys come from Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre, all those guys. For most of the match, Daniel Garcia is just kind of toying with this dude. Daddy Magic points out that Tate Mayfairs looks like he's wearing his grandmother's couch for tights, because it's like that kind of a print kind of thing. Is amusing.
Okay.
Mayfairs does get a little bit of offense in. He does look like a dude that like is somebody. Like he might be down the line a real thing, not just like a total local talent jobber guy. I mean, this is a pretty squashy match, but like Mayfair's got a little bit of stuff in, and he did a lot with what he had. Like his little time of offense, he did some taunts and stuff that like showed he had personality. It was I keep an eye on him for the future, but it was still his ass beating. The most important thing that happened was that Daniel Garcia debuted a new finisher. I was hoping it was a debut of a new finisher, not a one-off, but then he did it again a few days later.
Right.
He grabs Mayfair's into like a what do you call it? Guillotine choke. Gets him to the point where he's almost unconscious. So like the ref is going to do the drop the arm thing, and Garcia pulls him away, and then like hits the that Red Cross DDT.
Yeah.
So like it's the finish is in totality the choke to almost unconscious, and then the Red Cross like out of that. It just looks really
that's just intelligent,
brutal. It looks and it
knock
looks
him
like,
out and then fucking knock him out
looks
more.
like there's nothing you can do about this. Like
right.
Once you're in this, it's over.
Like
that. Garcia jumps up onto the barricade and doing his dance and just yelling at the camera, "These are my people. AEW is where the best wrestle." it's for the sickos, which I like. Let's get it. And the crowd fucking loves them. They always love them. Hopefully they actually do something with them this time.
They won't. I hope you're right, but
yeah, no, like, hey,
evidence.
That's why I'm saying I hope, because the evidence would dictate otherwise. We get a nice little video package for Zeuxis. It's like Stephanie Vaquer, the Mercedes upcoming opponent. It's her tag team partner. Zeuxis is like a big powerhouse, and she's getting a match with Mercedes on Dynamite.
Right.
It's to set up the Stephanie Vaquer match at the pay-per-view. But it's nice to get a little video package, like to see what this lady's like and what her wrestling style is ahead of the match. Then, they announced officially that Dustin versus Scapegoat is an eliminator for the TNT title match.
Wait, what? An eliminator for the TNT title match?
For the TNT, it's the same thing as
number one contender match?
It's the eliminator for the ladder match. They're doing these series of matches that eliminate.
I see.
Yeah. I could see where they'd come off a little weird sounding.
Yeah.
They also announced that Christian on next week's Collision is going to be celebrating Father's Day in some very special way. So I'm looking forward to that. And they announced next week a no DQ match between Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo, which, like, their last match was pretty fucking dope.
Yes.
And they're badasses, so I'm excited for a no DQ.
Well, their last match was their pre-show match.
It was the pre-show that was surprisingly good.
It was there. It was fine. We didn't, love it.
We both said it was a surprisingly good match.
We did?
Yes, we did.
I'll have to believe you.
You don't have to. You can go back very easily.
I'm not going to. I'll just believe you.
At this point, we had our main event of the evening, which would have been a solid main event on any goddamn show.
Right.
Orange Bollocks against Kyle O'Reilly. Right before the match, Lexi's talking to Orange Cassidy, who's back into the black shirt now. And Orange Cassidy basically says he's got a lot on his mind. He comes out to the Pixies here.
Good.
Again, which is good. Black shirt coming out to the Pixies.
Okay.
Not what happened on Dynamite, though.
No, white shirt Pixies.
So I'm thinking that's actually a thing they're doing. It seems like when he's in a certain state of mind, or if he has people having his back, he's going to get one entrance and look, and then another. And I don't know if I like it or not, but it seems to be a thing they're doing.
I hope they're just trying to sell shirts.
Yeah, me too. I want them to stick with the Pixies regardless.
Yes.
But they didn't. They, for whatever reason on Dynamite, they went back to the Jane. It's the first time ever for these two to be in the ring together, which is insane because they have immediate chemistry. It's not surprisingly. Roddy Strong and the Hyenas are in the front row for this match. Unsurprisingly, these two look like they've been wrestling each other for 20 years. Kyle drops to the mat and immediately dares Orange Cassidy to get in his guard. He drops to the mat and is like, "Get in my guard right now, get in my guard." And Orange Cassidy's like, "Fuck off, no, why would I do that?" So he tries to go around back, and O'Reilly flips. So he grabs OC by his legs the other way and then flips him down basically back into his guard. They end up seated, but face to face after a series of insane counters, which just carry over into another sequence of just insane counters. It's one of the most fluid matches I've ever seen in my life. These two are just absolutely amazing, and it's two totally different styles working brilliantly together. There's a series of pinning combinations. There's 8 of them, and I recognize 2 that I've ever seen before. It's just awesome. Kyle O'Reilly turns one of the pinning combinations into a submission hold, which Orange Cassidy freaks out and has to get to the ropes, looking very flummoxed. There are dueling almost equal "Let's Go Kyle" freshly squeezed chants, more even than you would expect for how over Orange Cassidy always is. Kyle O'Reilly. The other spot I liked a ton. Orange Cassidy used the hands in the pockets thing to actually to stop a move being used on him because it was getting kind of twisted in pieces.
Right.
So he put his hands in his pockets to stop it, and it made logical sense for him to do so. And then later in the match, Kyle O'Reilly's trying to put Orange Cassidy in a Rings of Saturn adjacent lock, And to keep OC from being able to do that, he puts his hand in Orange Cassidy's pocket and like grabs it. And so Orange can't get his hand in his pocket to, stop the hold. And he turns that then into like another pinning combination that looked amazing. He hits a series of, Kyle O'Reilly hits a series of like fucking super nasty dragon screws on OC. And he like keeps going after him, hitting dragon screw like one on the outside, one draped over the ropes. So like Cassidy's kind of down and out. Kyle O'Reilly then like walks over to where Roddy and the hyenas are and gives him like a "what the fuck are you doing here" look. And Roddy whispers something into Kyle O'Reilly's ear. At that point, Orange Cassidy is able to like kind of get Kyle O'Reilly from behind because he wasn't expecting it, but he was able to like duck out of the way of the punch and he gets hit with another goddamn dragon screw and then another one. So he's like just relentless as a motherfucker. He sits up Orange Cassidy in the corner and hits another dragon screw, like with him sitting in the corner. So his knee is just shot to hell at this point. OC starts trying to make a comeback, but he's like pretty hobbled. OC does eventually turn it around. He's still limping, hits a penalty kick though with his other leg and a tope suicida. He tries going for a crossbody. Kyle O'Reilly counters that into a Kimura, which is fucking awesome looking. Then Orange Cassidy counters the Kimura into his own pinning combination that O'Reilly kicks out, at 2.99. OC hits a thrust kick, tries a second one. Kyle O'Reilly sees it coming, catches, then catches the kick, then spins him, hits a snap German suplex, and then a second snap German suplex. This is kind of his thing now, is like, I'm going to spam moves, not just do them, but spam them.
Right.
OC recovers, hits a snap German of his own. Both men then, at this point, because as you can tell by my description, this is a bit of a marathon and they're going fucking super hard. Both men like try to square up in the center of the ring and they both just collapse. Like, it was a pretty cool spot. They just, like fist and they both just like exhaustion, dead. OC goes for once they're able to like regain their composure, they do dueling. They start doing dueling like baby Orange Cassidy kicks. Okay. But it only lasts for like half a second because this match is very intense. So it goes like they do one baby kick each and then go immediately to fucking trying to kick them as hard as they possibly can, like waylaying each other with big giant kicks. OC goes for the Slumdog. Kyle O'Reilly somehow counters that into an armbar. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Counters a Slumdog Millionaire into an armbar because he's Kyle O'Reilly.
A very in-depth match.
This was where he blocked it was a great match. That's why I took Sophie's notes. It was like a close to 5-star match. It wasn't. This was where the block by grabbing the pocket thing came in. This is awesome chants are happening just nonstop throughout this match. There's the PK. So the way OC goes for the orange punch. Kyle O'Reilly again counters into a Juji Gatami. And this is the point where Kyle O'Reilly does the hand in the pocket thing to block OC. And so he's got his hand in OC's pocket to block him from using it for leverage, and then uses the other arm to apply a rear naked choke, which very much seemed like it was going to finish the match. OC is able to hit it like a series of knee lifts to get out of that and hits a beach break. Both guys are just like toast at this point. Orange Cassidy tries for an orange punch. Kyle O'Reilly ducks it, goes for it again and hits it because he like ducked out of the way. Orange went right for it immediately again as Kyle O'Reilly turned around. So very smart. O'Reilly does that like the bounce off the middle rope kind of Moxley thing he does, and then OC hits a second orange punch for the win. Trent Beretta, they are calling him Trent Beretta now.
Good.
And Kyle Fletcher come out and start to beat the shit out of Orange Cassidy.
Okay.
Kyle O'Reilly is like halfway up the ramp at this point, and he sees on the Tron what's happening behind him, and he's like, no, fuck this. I'm not letting this happen. And he comes running down and to save Orange Cassidy. But both guys just worked the crazy match, so they're both super fucked up. Right. So they just continue to get beat down. At this point, Chris Statlander now comes out, shakes hands with Trent, the two downed opponents are like out of it. So the Trenton and Fletcher feel like, oh, our job is done. They split. Statlander grabs Orange Cassidy by the hair like she's gonna fucking punch him again, and then Willow's music hits to a huge pop, as always, and chases Stat out of the ring. And then the three of them stand tall, and they allude to it maybe being a new stable of Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Willow Nightingale, which is a very interesting and fun dynamic for a very fun episode.
We don't need more
Collision.
Fucking stables.
I think everybody should be in a stable.
No, could we just have friends and like remember that people used to be like in stables and like wink at that?
I think
that's more impressive.
I think it's fine if some stables are more loose affiliations and others are more like very specifically named.
Friends.
But I think if stables exist, everybody needs to be in stables, or else it's not believable, because you would fucking lone wolves, most of them.
Correct.
Would not.
That's why I'm saying, like, we can acknowledge that, hey, we have similar enemies, or like, oh, let the audience fill in some
That's
gaps
what
there.
that's the feeling I got about this.
I hope so.
Group. Yeah. I think it's they're going to kind of have each other's back kind of thing now.
Then I like that.
I don't think like we're going to get a named stable with these guys.
If Tony Nese has a stable,
he's got a tag team.
There's three of them. Minimum three is a stable.
Mark Sterling is a manager.
It's a tag team with a manager. You're right.
And they have evidently only wrestled on the Vortex and Rampage.
They should wrestle
on Dynamite. Taz talks about how they've like been on a winning streak or something, and I'm like, winning streak? He alludes to them being together for a year or something. Yeah. I'm like, I've never seen them until last week.
It's good. So you put asses in the seats. You put a team nobody wants to watch on TV every fucking week.
Well, they used them. They used them the right way.
They got a lot of guys they could use a better way. They
used the Hook Joe awesomeness to beat the shit out of him.
I don't love what Joe's doing right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I absolutely am 100% on board.
I like Killer Joe. This is not Killer Joe.
It's teaching the youngster to be a killer and exactly the right guy.
I don't want Joe to teach. I want Joe to kill.
Yeah, Joe's pretty old, and he had his.
He was a killer like 4 months ago.
Had his world. No, I'm saying like going forward, he had his. They're not gonna put the title on him again. I'm not gonna do something interesting with him. And I've been watching Samoa Joe a lot of years. He's a good babyface too. Like and if he's like this kind of babyface, as long as he's like a hard
I just like Killer Joe. That's all I'm saying.
I do too,
and I think Hook
is working.
I think Hook is like me being young and Brussels sprouts. Like I know they're good, but I don't want them.
I think what's going to happen is that Joe is going to make Brussels sprouts taste a lot better for you.
I don't want Brussels sprouts to taste better because I can't in a million years believe Samoa Joe and Hook is a fair fight, and they're going to try to tell me Hook can suplex this motherfucker, and
they're not fighting. They're friends.
Then, for now. For now.
This, into Dynamite too. This is not a short-term thing. Hook, Shibata, Joe is a trio.
For now.
For the foreseeable future.
Then we get Killer.
For like a long time.
Joe. I just don't buy Hook. I never bought Hook.
I understand that. He's not huge.
It's not plausible.
But I like his chemistry with Joe on camera is really good.
Well, it's Samoa Joe.
His part of it too. It's the most personality Hook's shown, both on Collision and on Dynamite. He actually is showing some personality beyond I'm a badass.
Right.
Because of Joe. And what Joe's doing is basically showing like this is what a mentor actually does for somebody.
Right.
As opposed to what the learning tree is doing for or to people, depending on what perspective you have.
Right.
But the episode of Collision was fun as hell. It helped that there was like a fucking absolutely incredible match at the end.
Yeah.
That was pay-per-view worthy, like for sure. That went 20 minutes or whatever. It was wonderful. I really hope they don't turn Kyle O'Reilly heel. They're doing a bunch of stuff with Roddy Strong that makes me think maybe eventually he's going to flip. And I did say I want to see Kyle O'Reilly with, Adam Cole, baby, and Roddy, just them.
Yeah.
But right now I'm really enjoying the goofball babyface, also absolute murderer in the ring, Kyle O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. Like showing respect to the good guys and stuff. I like him a lot. Especially what he on this Dynamite that we're about to talk about. Did you watch Dynamite this week? You said you did, right?
I watched it. How you watched Raw last week at double speed.
Yeah. Okay. So some of the stuff that I am going to fawn over, you probably didn't get the full effect of because it's like a couple of promos, a couple of backstages that
right.
like probably would have been lost in translation a
Fair
little
enough,
bit.
Yeah.
But it was a really actually, now that we're on to Dynamite or beyond, tell me about it, Dave. Yeah. What did you think of Dynamite this week?
It was felt like an old school from what I could see, going twice the speed, and it just felt different. Felt like they were progressing stuff correctly. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of shit that's going to pay off down the road. Just a lot of table setting.
What it sounded like you were about to say is exactly what I said about the show. Like what my personal review is, felt like an old school Dynamite.
Yeah,
felt like a Dynamite from a few years ago, which in the best possible ways.
Yeah,
like,
they love long-term storytelling in this company, and this felt more true to form.
Yeah. Even the setup of the show, the matches and stuff, and it just felt like an old Dynamite, like coming home again. Now they just got to do it for 6 months straight without any shitty ones in there.
I did see
because they keep doing bunches of good ones and then a shitty, and then bunches of good ones and then a kind of shitty.
Right.
I just need it to be straight through. Sorry, you just need to be awesome all the time. That's my expectation.
It's not too much to ask. Awesome just be perfect every week.
They've done it before for long stretches of time.
Yeah.
Where I was like, all of your shows are great.
Think this Forbidden Door thing fucks things up for flow.
But I really like this particular Forbidden Door compared to others.
Well,
the build to it. This has got a different vibe.
The more they do them, the more familiar I am with the people, because it's usually like the same fucking guys in Forbidden Door now.
Yeah.
So like those first couple years, it's like who, what, and now like the more you're getting familiar with.
I also feel like it's got a better, like they have a better grasp on what the vibes should be for this. It's just it's like. It always felt wonky to me, the lead into Forbidden Door. I felt like it was a thing they were doing. It's a cool thing. It's going to be a great pay-per-view, but we have to kind of get it out of the way. And and this doesn't really feel like that to me. This feels more like it's actually in the universe that they're living in. It's like Forbidden Door is just part of that now.
I mean, even MJF shit on it last week. So like,
he's been that's part of his. He's been shitting on New Japan for.
We said he said some guy from Japan or Mexico. Yeah, so like,
who cares? Who cares?
He was shitting on the idea too. So.
I kind of think it's gonna be, a guy from Mexico, but not a guy from CMLL.
Right. Conan.
I think we're gonna get a TV match that's gonna be run back at the pay-per-view in a good way. When it comes to Maxwell. We get the cold open with Swerve's music hitting and Nana coming out with his fucking coffee cup that he always has with him at this point. It's part of the thing. I don't understand it ever. Like, it always seems like he's coming out of a break room and, okay, it's time to go to work.
Yeah.
But why?
I mean, Alexa Bliss did that a couple years ago. She always had a cup of coffee.
What's going on?
It got over.
He flips it into everything Nana does is over.
Yeah.
And Swerve,
coffee's pretty over in wrestling.
Flips his empty cup and then does his thing,
Yeah.
But we got we're starting the show with Swerve looking fucking great, super cool as per usual. Taz at this point says Nana needs to pull up his britches. We see too much of his buttocks. Shivani agrees. Swerve asks if Des Moines is ready for Dynamite tonight. Better yet, are you ready for Forbidden Door? And they respond in the affirmative, as you should be, because in one corner you got the Billy Goat, the international champ, versus the world heavyweight champion. Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve Strickland for the title. 2 killers. Well, hold up. Maybe 1 killer in that ring. Swerve at this point says that he saw the killer and his boy, his friend, Will Ospreay at when he went up against Kenny Omega at last year's Forbidden Door. He saw the killer against Takeshita. He saw the killer against Danielson. Actually, he said, I saw the assassin against Omega, Takeshita, and Danielson, but not so much at Double or Nothing, which tracks because he was unwilling to use his dangerous move, quote unquote. Swerve says that he is not a target that you can hesitate on. He didn't get the nickname Killshot for no reason. It's because if you don't pull the trigger, I sure as hell will. I respect you, Will. You're a fighting champ, unlike some EVPs around here who haven't defended their titles one damn time since winning them. At which point we hear, stop. And it's Kazuchika Okada coming out along with the rest of the elite. Okada says, whose house? And everybody does, it's Swerve's house. And he says, no. It's my house, bitch, because he loves saying bitch. Right. And it's very over at this point. Nicholas gets on the mic.
It's like his only character trait at this point on AEW television is he's the foreign guy that says bitch.
Oh, no, I think he's the, above it all rich champion.
He's
guy.
not presented like that.
I disagree completely.
It's fine. We could disagree.
They have him driving up in different Lamborghinis every single week.
Yeah, because he's with the guys that own the company.
The absolute nines.
No, he's not by himself. He's with the guys that manage the company.
Yeah, that brought him in to be their big champion.
Right. He's not presented like he's bigger than the Bucks. He's just not on AEW TV. He's the guy that says bitch and flips the crowd off. And everyone knows he's Okada. And
everyone knows he's Okada as part of it.
Well, okay, then
that's part of the presentation.
That's why I said on AEW TV he's presented as bigger than them. He's just not
bigger than a tag team. I don't understand.
Well, the Bucks are supposed to be the biggest heels in the company. Okada's
are
not.
They? I don't like. I don't. Sometimes I don't get what the bigger than really what that means. Okada's being presented as a champion, like a awesome wrestler.
Everyone's a awesome wrestler in this company.
Yeah, Okada is even more so. I mean,
I don't think he's being presented
champion,
as an awesome wrestler. He's being presented as the Bucks.
His matches have been. One was a 5-star.
Nothing
for a title. He's been a champion since he got to the company.
You will never hear me say matches are bad. Wrestlers are bad.
And he's been a champion since he got almost since day one.
Okay,
since he got to the company.
But that doesn't present him as this threatening killer.
He's not a killer. He's like an above. He's like a jock. He's a jock. He's an above-it-all quarterback.
I don't get that at all from watching this show.
You don't think the way that he dresses and carries himself?
He dresses like the Bucks.
And no, he doesn't. He dresses
wears
much nicer than the Bucks. He dresses the Bucks dress tacky. Tacky
they
goofballs,
wear suits.
Like tacky
and he's
suits.
With them.
He wears actually nice tailored suits. He drives awesome ass cars.
He drives with the.
No, he drives separately in a Lamborghini.
Separately?
He pulls up in a Lamborghini almost every episode.
He was in a car with them a couple episodes.
I can think of 5 different Lamborghinis.
The day after Jack Perry came back.
They also gifted him a Lamborghini.
The day after Jack Perry came back, they all got out of the same fucking car.
Well, they did. That was a different thing because they had Jack Perry had his bus.
So how is he?
That was the one time that he
drives a car.
Rode with them. No, because he drives a fucking Lamborghini.
No, I heard you, but he's just, to me...
It's a Lamborghini for a reason.
To me, as a guy that never saw 7-star Okada, he's not being presented very special. I know he has great matches, and I know he's Okada, and I know he's got the coin thing, but I don't... And he says
presents
bitch.
Himself in a way that is a big deal.
I disagree.
You don't, because I can roll back the tape on you.
I'm telling you right now, I disagree.
And that you have said more than once that his... maybe not verbally, but that his charisma,
he's
definitely
charismatic. That doesn't make
that's part of presentation.
But that doesn't make him different than the Bucks. He's presented as the Bucks. He's a third Buck. That's how I see him on TV.
I don't think that they're
we don't have to
similar
agree.
In any way.
That's okay.
I mean, he's an asshole. The Bucks are assholes.
I don't even think he's an asshole. He just says bitch a lot. There's not a lot there so far.
He did the thing last week where he's
pretending
that he was so happy about
and then he flips people
crying
off
and fucking tells the crowd to go fuck themselves. That's what wrestlers do to be heels.
I mean, Christian does a little more than that to be a heel.
Christian's got a whole thing. It's a very specific thing.
Okada doesn't have a thing.
It's a different thing.
He flips people off and says
if
bitch.
Okada did the I want to be your dad, it'd be fucking weird because there's already a guy that wants to be your dad.
I never said be your dad. I'm saying heels, if we're looking distinctively, the Bucks have a thing. Christian has a thing. Okada is basically a third Buck. He's certainly not a standalone.
He absolutely is.
Okay. Well,
incorrect.
That's okay.
Dead.
Difference of opinion.
Yeah, it is. Where was I? Oh, yeah. On to Nicholas. Nicholas gets on the mic.
He's at least different than all of them because he's got, maybe because we love him, but his deadpan, that's a slight touch.
He's grabbed a hold of it and is doing it. Definitely.
That's a fucking character.
Probably a little easier to do when it's your native tongue, but
Sorry.
But yeah, no, he's been fucking awesome.
Shibata's got a character. He can't speak the language.
Yeah. It is a different character. Huh?
Yeah.
Different kind of thing. Nicholas says, relax, Okada. Sorry, Swerve. He gets very defensive with his friends. Right now, I want to talk about how dominant the Elite have been. We took out Kenny Omega. We broke Eddie Kingston's damn leg.
They say retired Sting.
And they didn't. I was hoping for it. And at Anarchy in the Arena, we destroyed Team AEW. Half the damn roster's gone because of us. It feels pretty damn good. You know, all the trolls and bots, they still doubt us. Someone in the crowd, singularly, I don't. Half the wrestlers in back still don't think that we're violent enough. Well, guess what? We challenge AEW's best to the most violent match in AEW. Blood and guts.
Oh.
Yeah. Matthew then takes over. And Swerve, this is where you come into the picture. Listen, we don't exactly love everything you said about us, and we haven't exactly gotten off on the right foot. But despite all that, we dig you, man. We like your style. We think you're freaking cool. You're young. You're a champion just like us. Matthew is almost 40. So we came down here to ask you one question. Do you want to stand side by side with winners? Do you want to stand side by side with champions? Do you want to change the world? Traditionally, Blood and Guts is a 5-on-5, and there's only 4 of us. Will you be our 5th man? And most importantly, we always wanted to see what you look like in a pair of our new Reebok pumps. He takes his shoes off his own feet, hands them to Swerve at this point. And Swerve is looking at them like, they get a really nice shot of the shoes. Clearly, they're pretty dope. I do want them still.
Are they available for purchase?
Swerve says, well, he keeps saying that they're sold out everywhere, so it could be wrestling bullshit, but who knows?
Let's see.
Swerve responds with, first of all, I don't wear size 9s. Second of all, pearl necklaces, because Matthew's wearing a pearl necklace. Man, nobody wears those anymore. Third of all, listen, man, I'm a businessman. I do my own stuff. And you know what? The fourth thing, I'm a philanthropist. Nana then throws the shoes into the crowd.
Oh.
Yeah.
And yes, they are sold out.
2 different people catch the shoes, and Excalibur then says, I hope they work out a deal so those 2 people can, get a week each with the shoes.
Right.
Again.
It's like when Bart Milhouse and Martin had the comic book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't work out too well for them.
Yeah, I doubt it's going to work out too good for those AEW fans.
No.
Each with a single Reebok pump, size 9. That Matthew is obviously not happy about that. Hey, what's that buzzing I hear around my head? Oh, it's the injury bug, and it just landed on you, champ. Swerve goes to square off with all 4 of them. So he's going to get his ass kicked, obviously, though.
Right.
The Acclaim's music hits, and they hit the ring. Then Christopher Daniels comes out before this fracas can continue, and he looks very much like a Frito-Lay's sales rep to me. He's been dressed in bad clothing. I don't know if it's intentional or if Christopher Daniels just shops cheaply, but not looking great. But he does my favorite thing ever.
All right.
It's happened on a wrestling show. It is the anti-impromptu match, because I fucking hate impromptu matches so much. He's like, we have a match scheduled now, so you guys got to all get the fuck out of here, except for Jack Perry. It's Dustin and Jack Perry right now, that match.
Yeah.
So Perry then has to take his shit off, and he's not in his wrestling gear completely. So he's like, wow, what the fuck? But you wasted the time. We have matches scheduled. We can't do impromptu bullshit. We don't have time for that.
Right.
So we go right into the Dustin Perry match.
There was half the roster's not here because of us. The internet took that and ran with it. And people were I saw it said on the, I saw a bunch of things on the top. It's half the roster's not here because of us. And then it showed every wrestler that has left the company. And it's a lot. It's a lot of people. So you can infer it however you want. But
notable people? I can think of a couple.
Well, I mean, Cody left.
That's the
Punk left.
The one.
That's 2.
Punk got fired.
I mean, it depends who you ask.
No, I mean, he literally got fired.
Well, it depends who you ask, because he said differently on the podcast that he did with Ariel Helwani, I think. No. Is that who he did it with? like the 2-hour one. He said he quit, but whatever the logistics of it are. People were saying the Bucks are responsible for a bunch of people leaving the company.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure that's why that was peppered into the promo, because
I'm just saying I saw it online that people took it the other way.
They love like leaning. That's why they said the bots and trolls too.
Yeah,
like it's the same.
I'm just telling you,
it's the same shit.
We can't riff about AEW like we can WWE, because the Bucks are smarter than WWE.
They are.
Yeah, but like right there, you see, like we can never, like they have thought of everything possible. So
no, I like they do all kinds of dumb shit. But
every little thing has an explanation. It's a little.
This character thing is very specifically leaning into that.
I understand, and if that's the case, shame on them for still talking about fucking Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Like, get over it, dude.
They're not directly. They're alluding to.
Well, don't even allude to it. You know what Cody's not doing?
The point of the character is that like people love to get on their shit online. So like whatever people are getting on their shit about, they lean into in some way that's not like direct, but is very clearly alluding to.
Right.
And they're fucking assholes. So like that's an assholey thing to do.
Yeah.
I think we can riff about AEW. What I can't riff about is like online people, because I
didn't say I agreed with it at all. I just said I saw that was an angle that people took, that they out of context took a thing and went another way with it.
And that's what I can't like riff on.
I'm just telling you it existed.
People in bad faith, because you're not in bad faith.
No.
But like that kind of shit is. So it's like that. It's irritating. So like I tried to, when we like started the podcast, I tried to start engaging again with the online people, but like they all very clearly, or most of the online wrestling community has just an agenda that they're going to be behind no matter what. They won't change their mind. They won't evolve on anybody. And I think we are above that.
Well, that's a fucking shame, because you keep saying go back and listen. Go back and listen to when I hated these motherfuckers. Oh, and I'm agreeing with you. I love the Bucks now.
Yeah.
And I love pretty much everything that they're touching.
I think both of us are. Like, Jade Cargill is like an example of mine that I've flipped completely on.
Yeah.
I think most of the internet is not willing to do that. And that's why they grab snippets of things and then they make their lists or whatever, because they already have a foregone conclusion in their head.
I just don't think they help themselves by even using that to build their characters.
That's a reasonable argument.
Because look at here, let's take Punk for example. Punk, it doesn't look good when he's like, oh, I fight guys in the back, like, and he's done that a couple times on WWE, and you're just like, come on, man, cut the shit.
I can see that being like a turnoff for.
It's just like, move on, be a different character.
Some people.
That's all.
Like I like this Bucks.
I love them.
Character.
It's my favorite version of them.
I don't ever want them to be babies again.
Ever again.
Because I do think they are kind of probably pricks.
Yeah.
In real life, like too, and that helps. Like doing it. But I can see them maybe laying it on a little thick with the constant responses to the online criticism.
Right.
I like that that's tied into the character.
Yeah.
But I understand that could maybe get a little old, or it'll be a little much.
Well, it's also letting like the online community like kind of drive your narrative. Like, because like, let's say you had an awesome idea and you're like, oh, they're talking shit here. We have to acknowledge that here. Like, write a good story that's isolated from anything the internet's saying. Like, they have it in them.
Yeah.
Like, they won me over.
Yeah,
hard.
Absolutely.
And I didn't want to like these motherfuckers. I mean, I'm Team Punk.
I'm glad they're fucking going up against Swerve and a potential.
This is good. This is tying up the champ until Wembley.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to do a bullshit feud where he's got to just job somebody out in the meantime. Like, this is properly setting the table.
I don't love the idea of Daddy Ass potentially being in Blood and Guts.
That was the next thing I was going to bitch about. Once you said the Acclaim,
do not love that.
I'm like, oh no.
I'm all back aboard the Acclaimed as a tag team because of Max Caster's mustache and the parents' change in attitude.
Right.
I love those two. I just do. I think they're great. I fucking hate Billy Gunn, and I don't want him anywhere near any of these people.
So it's going to be. So is it 5-on-5?
It's always 5-on-5.
So who are they going to get?
I don't know. I know what I want to happen.
Tell me.
I know I want Hangman Page to be a guy that both sides are trying to get, and we don't know what he's going to do till he fucking does it.
It's like
it'd be really cool.
It's like Invasion era Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Could be like, I'm going to fucking grit my teeth and team up with my biggest rival because I respect him now because we went to war or whatever. Or I'm going to stay a heel and team up with remain the Elite because I was never fired from the Elite. I was suspended.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll bring him back. I just really want to see him in that double ring cage.
He has to be back for at least Wembley. He has to be back.
Swerve and Hangman on opposite sides. Swerve is one of the best deathmatch guys on earth, and Hangman and Swerve are just like made for each other.
Yeah.
And Blood and Guts is already fun as fuck. So it would be so exciting. Or whatever. Him on Swerve's side. I think that makes for a lot of really cool, interesting eventually I think that's where it's gonna go. Usually what happens with these kinds of things.
Right.
Like they build up enough respect for each other from beating the hell out of each other that they first begrudgingly and then eventually form a friendship kind of thing.
Guts? Blood and Guts is it's 2024 date and location confirmed. It is surprisingly difficult to find. When the fuck is it? I'll let you know. I gotta read a whole ass article to find out when this is. I should know this
off the top of my head, and I don't.
Tennessee. It's in Tennessee, July 24th. Oh, it's a Dynamite. Duh.
Oh,
it's not a standalone.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's why I couldn't think of it.
So they got over 6 weeks.
It's their one of their special Dynamites.
That
they turned most of those into pay-per-views at this point, but
that's why
we still have a couple of them.
I was trying to find a Sunday date.
But it's a great way to, like you said, tie up Swerve, and I really hope it's. Anyway, into the Scapegoat versus Dustin Rhodes match. Perry goes for a sucker punch right off the bat. Dustin ducks it, gets an early advantage. Jungle Jack Scapegoat rakes the eyes to get the advantage, hits him with a chop and an Irish whip, but Rhodes hits a pretty wicked lariat off of that. Dustin trying to pull Jack Perry's in the corner, no, you can't, leave me alone, kind of thing. And Dustin's trying to pull him out of the corner, but what he's really doing is undoing the middle turnbuckle pad. And when Dustin pulls him out, Perry pulls the middle turnbuckle pad off the turnbuckle. So now we have an exposed Chekhov's gun middle turnbuckle in one of the corners. The fight goes to the outside. Jack Perry whips Dustin into the steps. He blades immediately. Perry pulls up the padding next to the ring, so it's exposed concrete. Goes to do a pile driver, but gets backdropped onto the concrete himself. Dustin is bleeding like crazy. It looks like a callback to the Cody match, Dustin's first match in AEW.
Wait, why was he bleeding so much in an opening match?
Head smashed into the.
It's hard way.
I think he bladed. Yeah. I think there was a little fucked up thing happened in this match too. It didn't really affect the match, but I think it affected when he bladed.
Yeah.
But it was the kayfabe reason was just head first into the stairs.
Yeah.
And came up bleeding, and he's got the same look as gear, makeup, all that stuff, same as the match against Cody. So the blood looks very similar to his first match. Which again, I think it's just me, but I think it might be his last match. So he's busted from the stair bump. Jack Perry starts to bring a chair into the ring, but Aubrey gets it away from him immediately. At this point, this is where the kind of fucked up thing happens. The reason he did that was he was supposed to get something. Jack Perry was supposed to get some kind of a foreign object out of his boot, but he was struggling like a motherfucker, and they didn't want to keep that going, him fucking around with his boot for too long, because it would have looked too bad. So they just abandoned that. It didn't really affect the match that much though, but something was clearly supposed to happen there. So instead he goes for chokes Dustin on the middle rope, just doing kind of Healy shit. Backs up so Dustin's draped over the middle rope, and Jack Perry does the Kenny Omega finger gun, which gets an actual ooh, fuck off from the crowd. It was a nice reaction. They back and forth striking. Dustin's bleeding like a fucking stuck pig. He always bleeds like crazy when he blades. He does the 10 Dustin does like the 10 punches in the corner, sets up Shattered Dreams. Aubrey stops him. Dustin then grabs the chair to like get Aubrey to be distracted and hits the Shattered Dreams. He gets basically all of his shit in here, like his classic Dustin shit. Hits a crossroads for just a near fall. There's blood at this point just all over the ring. There's a pretty solid "Let's go Dustin" chant. Everybody always is just behind this dude. He just knows how to work babyface. Perry reverses a wrist lock into like an Irish whip, but does so in a way that whips Dustin head first into that exposed turnbuckle. So paying off the Chekhov's gun. And then he DDTs him onto the exposed concrete. It was just pretty nasty because it leaves his bloody head and leaves like a stamp of blood on the concrete. So he actually bumped onto the concrete. Looked good in a like way. Perry rolls in the ring like wanting the count out victory. Like, fuck this, I'm just gonna wait it out.
Right.
Dustin does just beat the 10 count. But he's like prone on the mat now, or supine, is it? I'm not sure. And Jack Perry's just like laughing at him, like this. Look at this old broken down man, taunting him basically. Aubrey goes to address the exposed turnbuckle that she has now realized is exposed, and Perry takes the opportunity to nut shot Dustin. Dustin is now like kicked in the balls, crumpled, bleeding, defiantly still does the like fuck you middle finger, I'm not giving up. At which point the scapegoat hits the Busaguni for the win. And then to celebrate, Jack Perry just rubs Dustin's blood all over his own body and face and to the crowd which is booing vehemently him at this point.
Yeah. It's a tough one to get over.
He is a different guy. He's a different guy. Like his first attempt at being a heel, that Hook feud a while back, was total trash.
I mean, it was in the right direction, and then he disappeared for 8 months.
Yeah. It was like just total chicken shit heel, though. This is like the better kind of chicken shit heel, where chicken shit until you see an opening where you can take advantage, and then you fucking do. And that's what he's doing throughout this match.
Right.
It just works better. And then like the fucking blood thing with the beard, and it's just better aesthetic. Dustin looked very much throughout this match to me like especially after that promo, he's hanging him up, and this might have been him like going out on his shield kind of thing, because the callbacks to his first match with Cody, there were a number of them here, and then the references to his dad and that promo from Collision, and doing stuff like thanking the cameraman. That's only I'm about to retire.
Right.
And this might be my last opportunity to do that kind of shit. It's the only time people do that kind of thing.
It's a very quiet way to go for him.
That would be apropos, I think, for Dustin.
Yeah.
It's like what he is. I think that's how he would want to go out. I do think that if he is retiring, he'll get some kind of a goodbye send-off promo thing or whatever.
Right.
But I do suspect he's wrestled his last match. And I think that he is really an old school kind of guy, and I think that's probably what he would request as far as like last matches go, or how he's going to go out.
Time will tell.
Yeah, time will.
Time will tell.
Or Timeless Tony will.
Timeless Tony will.
Backstage, we got Renee Paquette with Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and the Sussex County Chicken. Kyle O'Reilly says, hey, we're pros, because the question was, can you coexist? We're pros, and now we got Mark Briscoe with us, so it's gonna rule, is what he says. It's very endearing. Orange Cassidy says, well, it seems like I got some people that got my back, but there's one person at least that I know has my back, at which point Willow Nightingale walks up from behind, revealing herself as such. And then Mark Briscoe says, can I say something real quick? And commences to cut the fucking promo of the year by a million miles.
What did he say?
Did you watch the
I fast forwarded through it.
Promo?
Yeah, I heard it was great.
Renee, you talk about last week. That's things in the past. Now you're never going to get where you're going by looking in the rear view mirror. Today is today, and the word of the day is conglomeration. Now we got a conglomeration of dangerous individuals right here, and there's 3 men who are in dire straits this evening, and that's Roderick Strong, that's Kyle Fletcher, and that's Konosuke Takashita. Because we coming for you, boys. I got Kyle O'Reilly here. What's he gonna do? He gonna snatch your leg off? He gonna kick you in the face? Yes, that's the answer. He gonna do it all. And then I got the main man with the plan with his hands in his pocket. But watch your jaw, cause he gonna rock it. OC Orange Cassidy, baby. We coming for you. We got 3 bad boys. And you got the most unpredictable man in professional wrestling right here. And tonight you boys are in trouble. Ain't nothing you can do. Well, there's one thing you can do, and that's get your ass whooped. It's going down in Des Moines, Iowa, baby. Let's go. Arr, arr, arr. At which point, everybody breaks except for Orange.
Right.
Which is very impressive that Orange did not. Renee just fucking corpses. Super impressive. It's very difficult to get her to break character. The entire time, Kyle O'Reilly standing behind him, like laughing his ass off, wide-eyed, like, holy shit, what's going on right now? I just love this dude. I want him to win every championship. I need that Ring of Honor fucking bullshit title off of his shoulder.
Yeah.
Because I need him on my AEW shows.
Yeah.
All the time. Oh. Every single episode. I like with MJF and Will Ospreay, that is where I am at with this man at this point.
Yeah.
I loved it. The segment concluded with, like I said, everybody corpsing, and then Orange Cassidy says to Renee after the Sussex County chicken barks his way off screen, hey, so how you doing, Renee? And she's like, great now. How you doing? And he's like, not so good. So still depressed, Orange Cassidy. So did you watch the promo?
I just told you no.
I
fast forward through
it. Was it 2 times speed or just fast forward through
it? It was no. To like I watched the whole show in 2 times speed. I didn't jot.
2 things you should go back and watch.
Yeah,
the promo and the match.
I'm gonna go watch this whole show in one X speed.
The match that the promo was for.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit. Next up, we had Roosh murdering Dion Rushman, whoever that is, local talent from Iowa.
Rushman. Minute 30. That's fast.
Yeah, minute 30. Just fucking annihilated him. It was 2 moves, 2 or 3 moves, and then Bull's horns thing. I think MJF should come out dressed as a matador soon, because I think that would be fun. After the match, Roosh does I didn't love this because I'm just over the like I'm a foreigner, America sucks, fuck America. He does kind of the fuck America, you're all weak kind of thing.
Yeah,
like you're better than that. Roosh.
You'd have been huge in 1980 with that.
Yeah, you're better. He's better than that. I've seen you do better heel work than having to do the America thing. So whatever. He starts choking the shit out of the guy that he just beat. Essentially like daring MJF come out. MJF's music, of course, hits.
Right. Comes
out. Still doing like homages to Triple H. He's got the fists taped up with the leather jacket. It's a very that era Triple H kind of thing,
right.
Which is very interesting to me because we know the contract stuff is done.
Yeah.
But he's doing like MJF does not do anything by accident.
Right.
Everything he does is for a reason, and he's very clearly doing Triple H stuff here. So I'm like, it's interesting. We'll
see where it goes.
I want to know where it's going to go.
It's probably going to incorporate the pedigree.
They get I think MJF needs a different finisher. I like the Heat Seeker, but unless you're just a straight heel, I don't think it works as a finisher.
It's also very contrived.
Yeah. And he does a million other moves that are fucking dope. So like he's one of those.
I never liked the salt. What is it? What is his armbar?
I like the Salt of the Earth as a heel finish.
Yeah.
Just the Fujiwara armbar. Because I like, heel submission finishes.
Yeah. I just want him to have a very cool finisher.
But like that fucking Brainbuster he did.
Do
that.
Yeah.
Like,
that
could be
great.
Your thing. It was awesome. The guy can do anything in the ring. the Rush and MJF commence to have a fucking just awesome brawl that goes into the crowd, beating the hell out of each other. Or before they goes into the crowd, they're beating the hell out of each other in the ring. A bunch of security comes down. They both just turn to the security, beat the shit out of them so that they can commence fighting. Then go back to fighting. It goes out into the crowd. Goes all the way up through the arena into the backstage area. Where like just nobody can separate them. They're beating the absolute hell out of each other until a bunch of wrestlers actually come out and get them apart, and they're still barking and jawing. And we get the announcement at this point that we're getting Rush versus MJF with no commercials to start the show next week on Dynamite, which fuck yeah. I also think that that's going to end up being your Forbidden Door match too. Like at first I thought it was just a real quick get MJF back. Wants to be done with he wants to make everybody forget about like the goofball babyface stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm doing badass babyface now, which he is and is doing it very well.
Right.
But the chemistry between these two and what they've done so far, I think it's heated up enough that it could be a pay-per-view match. I was thinking the same thing. So like I wouldn't mind seeing it's going to be cool seeing the match on Dynamite, but like a stepped up hardcore whatever, like death match.
Or run it back as a regular ass match.
That's fine too. Yeah. The only reason I said it's because of the vibe that Rush loves getting weapons and shit, and that's his whole thing. And MJF's doing basically dressing like Triple H dressed when he would have his hardcore matches,
right.
Like when he was doing his Mick Foley, like the Rumble, historic kind of stuff.
I hear you. Yeah, I thought the same thing when they put this on free TV. I'm like, oh, this is going to be screwy in some way, and they're just going to do it again at the pay-per-view because they have no time to build anything else for Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
And MJF did say some Japanese or Mexican guy.
Yep.
And everything he says.
Yeah, it would be a waste to. Also, why bury Rush here? Like you got him in a high-profile feud. Like, make the guy.
And he's doing awesome. Like in this,
he's always been awesome.
Little,
he's just never had the fucking dance partner to like.
Now he's got
status-wise. He's got the guy. The guy. Fucking guy. They're gonna kill each other.
The thing that happened next on the show is it's a first timer for me. First time that this particular thing has happened.
All right.
There is a match on a show in which Will Ospreay is also on, which is the best match of the show, and Will Ospreay's not a part of it. This was the 6-man tag match that was the promo earlier alluded to with Mark Briscoe, KOR, and OC against a pairing of Cal's family members and Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita, along with Roddy Strong with his Jackals, and then Trent Beretta coming out as well. This was, for my money, basically the perfect AEW match. Mm-hmm. It was like the best possible version of a get your shit in, everybody kind of match.
Yeah.
Because it like peppered in, everybody did get their shit in, but every time the spot was done in a creative way, and also their characters were like peppered in throughout, and the story of the match, like it wasn't just a bunch of lucha stuff. It was like each guy was doing the thing that they were doing in the way that they would as their character. It's one of my favorite multi-mans I've ever seen. And like,
I picked the wrong show to fast forward through.
I actually thought the Ospreay main event disappointed in quotes a little bit. It was still like a 4.5 star match or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about when we get to it a little more. But like, I feel like Will Ospreay has actually evolved past the type of match he had here against Phoenix, which is like the reason why I don't want AEW to sign Ricochet, because Ricochet is going to bring more of that kind of spot festy thing without the other shit that Will Ospreay is now incredible at.
Right.
Well, like this match was all the spot stuff with the other incredible shit in it as well. And yeah, this is the first time since Ospreay has signed that there's been a match other than a show that he's on that I consider match of the night, because this was like essentially perfect. It was a perfect match. It was the best possible version of the get your shit in. Everybody working in tandem, doing their high spots, but like at the right times and making sense. Even at the very beginning, like the combo of the Callis family and Roddy Strong, The Kingdom, they do like a heel pose, like in-ring pose, and even that is fucking dope looking. Like Roddy's down on his knees with the arms outstretched, and the other guys are up on the corners, and they look very intimidating.
Right.
Taz made me laugh here because Excalibur's like, or Callus on commentary is like, Taz, have you ever seen anything like this? And Taz just goes, I have. Yeah, I have. And a lot of people say, I've never seen nothing like this before, but no, I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot of really talented people. So, yeah, I've seen stuff like this. It amused me. Early on in the match, you got a Briscoe Takeshita face-off that made clear to me that they're the best two fucking strikers on earth, and I need them to have like a year-long feud with one another.
They're not the best pure strikers.
World title. Well, we know Dead Man Walking is
the best pure striker. Yeah,
pure.
Yeah.
Do you think like when he says pure, is he talking like in a race way, like he's pure? His bloodline is pure. Well, I don't know what the fuck else pure means when you're talking about punching somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. What does that mean? I never considered that before.
It's just a word they throw in so that you don't.
Pure striker.
Because he's obviously not the best striker. So
no. What is a pure striker? No, you're fine. Best. So a striker just punches. A pure striker, like you're born knowing how to punch.
Well, like maybe if it's
like he just punches.
A pure striker would be punches and kicks and knees and shit, but that's more like Kyle O'Reilly than like the goddamn.
Oh, you didn't know. Undertaker's better at striking than Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely.
Kyle O'Reilly's not a pure striker.
But Takeshita and Briscoe both do that fucking elbow thing that looks like it takes everybody's head off, and they do it to each other.
Oh yes,
like sometimes it's a rolling, sometimes it's not, but like it's a forearm elbow thing. It sounds awesome. It always looks like it kills the guy that they're doing it to. Well, they exchange those at this point in the match. Takeshita. Oh yeah, after that exchange, Orange Cassidy jumps off the top rope to try to like crossbody Takeshita. Takeshita catches Orange Cassidy like he's an infant,
like a little baby,
like he weighs 2 pounds. I mean, it is like nothing. Like he's catching a doll. It's insane. He then flips Cassidy like up onto his shoulders, like in a fireman's carry position. While he's got him up there, he like big boots Kyle O'Reilly out of the ring, holding Orange Cassidy up on his shoulders. And then he transitions that into, I'm calling it a sit-out driver. From the shoulders into like a Michinoku driver, but from the shoulders, like down to a sit-out position.
Yeah.
Looked awesome. I don't know what.
Isn't it Lyra Valkyria's finisher?
It's very similar.
Yeah.
But this is Takeshita, a giant man doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dope when she does it too, whatever. But yeah, what does she call it? We just said Nightwing. So,
yeah.
Okay. So I'll say he transitioned to a Nightwing then. We'll give Lyra her flowers.
No, you were doing so good.
Then he hits that basement dropkick thing he does with a downed opponent that looks like it should end a life. Takeshita, by the way, during this match is getting the most heat of anybody by a million miles. I don't know why he's not.
I don't know why he had so much trouble beating a one-armed man.
I don't know why he's not a world title contender.
He should have beat the world champion at the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, he should have.
So, like, logically, why do that if you're going to do this? For real.
I don't know.
Like, is there
I said it when we reviewed that. I have no idea why they ran that match by us. Like, why did we need to see that?
And since they ran that, why are they doing this now? So close to us having that.
Yeah.
Like, what are they? Oh, we're rebuilding him. Why? For what? What are you building him for?
He doesn't need anything. He's just doing here what he does every goddamn time you put him in the ring, which is like
totally
absolutely amaze everyone. I don't know why, but I don't understand. Like, what is Tony Khan not see?
It's criminal that this guy is not elevated more.
Yeah,
it's fucking criminal.
100%. I mean, I feel the same way about Mark Briscoe too, but like But this is more undeniable. Like, what the who? Everybody who watches this guy wrestle is like, oh, he's like a once in a generation talent.
His batting average is way higher than everybody else. It's like he doesn't fucking miss when he's in the ring.
And
for a short amount of time too.
Big dudes, it's hard to have a bat 1,000.
Yeah,
like it's hard for anybody, but it's always harder for like a bigger, high impact guy to not have any matches that like get a little wonky or whatever.
Right.
Everything he does looks great.
Yeah.
And he's giant. So like fucking make him your champ. Like he should have the title or whatever. Like I love Swerve and stuff, but like
I really liked your proposal to hotshot the title on him for a little while.
I'd love to see
that would have been great.
Love to see.
Would have been wonderful.
That's what they did with Okada and New Japan and like made him. So do the same thing with this guy.
They're not interested in making Takeshita in New Japan also, which is horseshit.
Takeshi's not a New Japan guy.
Oh, he could have been very easily a month ago.
He's a no. I mean, he didn't come from there even.
No. My point. No, I was just talking more shit about the John Moxley thing.
Like I just wouldn't have booked that match.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't give it to Takeshita because he's a DDT dude or whatever, and that's like big competitor of theirs.
Of course.
But like, don't book that fucking match then. Just don't book that fucking match. Orange Cassidy does a Hurricane Rana on 2 dudes at once. I've never seen that before. It looked cool. Kyle O'Reilly hits like a flying kick to the outside at this point. Everybody's on the outside, so except for Orange Cassidy. So he does like a twisting, diving tope thing, knocks everybody out, and then lands on his feet like a fucking pimp. Mm-hmm. He then starts jawing with Trent, which leaves him open to Takeshita sneaking up behind him and fucking knocking his goddamn head off with that strike thing.
Right.
It's so nasty looking. And this was the most brutal one that he's thrown in this match. At this point, we get Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy in there together, which is just magic always. O'Reilly hits a series of like dragon screws, this is his thing now, and then kicks and knees like on both Takeshita and Fletcher, like back and forth. He's doing like dragon through kick, sweep, knee, kick, dragon through kick. Like it's beautiful. The baddies get the advantage by like double teaming then Kyle O'Reilly. He's able to wiggle out of it and tag in Briscoe with like fucking super white hot tag. Place goes nuts. Bunch of redneck kung fu fucks everybody up. It's amazing because he's Briscoe. He does the drop kick through the ropes thing that we've been seeing a lot, but he does it in a way that I have not seen. He like hits it, but he maintains his footing then on the apron. So he like drop kicks through the ropes to the apron, knocks the dude down, but then lands his own feet like on the apron. So now he's standing on the apron from after doing that and immediately hits a blockbuster on Takeshita from that position. Orange Cassidy hits a diving DDT on Kyle Fletcher, which looks nasty as hell for a near fall. He's trying to get the orange punch, but Takeshita grabs his leg from the outside. And this is like where a series of just absolutely everybody hitting all of their shit in an amazing like sequence happens. I couldn't write it all down because I would be here for years. Stun Dog Millionaire on Kyle Fletcher, but Orange Cassidy hangs on to it. So like double team move. So OC hits the Stun Dog, hangs on to it as Kyle O'Reilly can come over and hit an axe kick while he's got Fletcher still held into that position. And then they stand him up, and O'Reilly hits a rolling elbow, nasty as hell. And then second Perry Saturn reference, O'Reilly and Orange Cassidy do the tandem eliminator, the old Eliminators tag finisher. That's dope.
I don't remember the old
Perry Saturn and I forget his name. This guy that looks just like Perry Saturn.
Yeah,
Jerry
Saturn.
And when they were, it is like another planet name kind of thing too. He died very young. Like he died while like they were a tag team and he passed away, and that's why Perry Saturn became a singles guy. It's gonna kill me.
John Cronus.
Cronus. I knew it was like a whatever Cronus. They used to do it. It's like a leg sweep and like single leg drop kick kind of thing. Looks really cool. It was their move, their finisher in ECW, and I loved it then. Well, they do it. They do it here. Orange Cassidy goes up to the top rope, but he takes too long. Mark Briscoe recognizes that he's taking too long, so he kind of like blind tags himself in while Orange Cassidy's still up there. Kyle Fletcher runs up and grabs a hold of Cassidy and hits the top rope brain buster, the Sami Zayn,
right?
Beautifully, like perfectly. Goes for the pin, but Orange Cassidy's not the legal man now because Briscoe was smart enough to tag himself in. So while he's got Orange Cassidy in the pinning position, Froggy Bow onto Kyle Fletcher. Briscoe then goes for the Jay Driller on Fletcher, but at this point, Takeshita's in and fucking houses him with that rolly elbow and his flying knee thing. And then Kyle Fletcher is able to get back, like a hold of himself and back in, and hits like absolutely awesome looking kneeling pile driver. So it's like a standard pile driver position, but then to the knees instead, like a tombstone.
Backwards.
But it just looked really cool. Yeah. Looks like one of those things that like looks nasty as hell, but not dangerous.
Probably super safe.
Kind of thing. Yeah. And Kyle Fletcher actually gets the 1, 2, 3 here.
Oh, right on.
Post match, Heel's doing a beatdown. Willow's music hits, but it's playing for a little bit too long. And like, what's going on? And then she comes rolling out onto the ramp because Chris Statlander is behind her, beating the fucking shit out of her.
Jesus Christ, there's a lot in this.
Stomping her. Right. Yes, it is.
That's a lot.
It's the most stuff on the show. Just looking like a Terminator. Stokely stands over her and basically says, next time we won't be rolling you down the ramp, we'll be rolling you into the ER kind of thing.
Okay.
And like the Heels standing tall at the end. I think my only criticisms whatsoever is Orange Cassidy came out to Jane, and I would have probably given Takeshita the pin. I'm happy Kyle Fletcher got it because it's another guy that needs a little glow up. Yeah. But I probably would have given it to Takeshita. Other than that, it was a perfect match.
Yeah. They got to rehab that entire Don Callis family.
Yeah. They need to get wins. Get some goddamn wins.
Wins and stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher stay healthy as all get out.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
Let them get pins.
Will Hobbs is hurt.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But yeah,
Trent looks good in the like. He hasn't done much yet,
yeah.
but like the outfit change kind of gear thing that they've given him, he fits in well. Like seemed to be like he during this match it was like Callis's muscle. He was kind of standing next to him the entire time while he's on commentary, and they alluded to that. Like Tony's like, well, you gotta have your goon here with you.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's kind of what Trent Beretta's job is going to be.
He's an integral part of the rehab.
Yeah,
like he's a new guy. He has motivation. The other guys we're just like, yeah, we like Don Callis. Like there was no real reason for them to join, but like they've been kind of needing KNEED or EAD, whatever, like you do at a dough.
Yeah.
Is it EAD or EED? Can EAD?
You have me doubting myself now, Dave. I think it's EA.
KNEED. Yeah. But yeah, so he's
they need an EED, some fucking wins every once in a while.
You're right.
So I was glad to see Kyle Fletcher get one here.
1,000%.
Yeah.
All that went 13 minutes and 3 seconds.
Watch this fucking match. It's
I'm going to, yeah.
Like it's match of the night, my match of the week. Probably give it 5 stars. If I did star ratings for TV, for regular TVs. Renee then is doing a backstage bit where she does the thing I like, which she's like doing the rundown of what a guy's been. I talked to so and so earlier, and this is what he's thinking while he's like working out behind her. With she did it with Phoenix. Was like working out behind her, and she just is what he's thinking about going into his big main event.
Yeah.
We then get the announcement that Shingo fucking Takagi is in the Owen Hart Cup, which. We did get a video package to explain who he is to people who are not aware. He's one of the best wrestlers of his goddamn generation. Mm-hmm. Most of it happened in Dragon Gate, but he's been in New Japan last couple of years. He's just put on banger after banger. Not to steal a line from
after banger after banger.
He's fucking super awesome. And so yet another super awesome guy in the Owen Cup. And total surprise, I did not see Shingo Takagi coming for something like this, which makes me think they're probably going to do Owen Cup stuff at Forbidden Door. like have Owen Cup matches there.
Probably depends how big the tournament is.
Shingo Takagi being there makes me believe that.
That would track.
Yeah. Tony Khan's mouthpiece comes out. Again, dressed like a Frito-Lay sales rep.
Got a little cold?
I didn't. I don't know what the hell. Like my nose started running the last 10 minutes.
I'm looking forward to my cold this weekend.
I swear I didn't feel any.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I'm just giving you shit.
It could just be an allergy or something. Tony Khan's mouthpiece comes out and says that the Bucks and Okada are going to have eliminator matches next weekend on Dynamite, all with seconds barred from ringside. So they can't have any of their pals out for their. He didn't say against who yet, but you have to defend their titles because, as Swerve alluded to, none of them have defended their titles at all. Excuse me, since they won them. We then get the next Hook and Samoa Joe with Katsuyori Shibata thing where they beat the Premier Athletes officially in a
good
2-minute match that was fun as fuck. The way this one starts is again backstage. Shibata on manning the camera. They're following Hook and Joe as they walk out through Gorilla. Joe says to Hook, "So we got a pool going. What is it really with your dad and the orange thing?" Like, I'm thinking maybe because Syracuse is the Orangeman. You guys are New York. Is that why he likes orange so much? And Hook says he hates Syracuse. And Joe says, like, figures. Stretch. And they both stretch a little bit. Hook and Joe then go through the tunnel to the jabronis that are like still on the ramp. We didn't know that because we're following Hook and Joe, and they just like beat the shit out of them, beat them all the way down to the ring. The bad guys do get like a little bit of offense when they start teaming up on Hook in the corner, and Joe keeps getting put back. You know, the classic heel thing where the bad guys are teaming up, but the good guy tries to come in. Ref only stops the good guy. Happens a couple times, but then Hook still just gets the advantage over the two of them. He does the Joe nope spot, which Joe then popped like a proud father. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're getting it, buddy." Smart Mark keeps trying to interfere, but Shibata kicks him in the fucking head. The match ends with dual chokes. Hook sinks in a choke on one of the jabronis in the ring, and then Joe grabs the other jabroni from like over the ropes and is choked. And they both get choked out at the same time. And then we realize that as this is happening, Shibata has Mark Sterling in a choke, unconscious on the outside of the ring as well. And then they all kind of conglomerate in the ring, and they do get called at this point on commentary. They say, "Is this a new trio?" So they're a new trio. I'm here for it.
Someone's got to fight the Bullock or the Bang Bang Gang.
The Bang Bang Bang, the Bang Bang Gang announce a match too in a little bit.
Oh,
we get a Juice Robinson promo. So we on the same show that we got Mark Briscoe promo, we got Juice Robinson Stray Bullet promo. Right now though,
like
we get
birthday present for you.
Absolutely,
yeah.
We get another video package for Stephanie Vacour, the Forbidden Door opponent of Mercedes Moné. Looking very impressive because she's badass. And that's leading into the next match, which is the AEW TBS title match between Mercedes and Zuxis.
Who?
It's the one that we get the video package on Collision. It's Stephanie Vacour's tag partner.
Take a look at you. Oh, you have a mask on. Oh, okay.
She's like a big house. She's very hard hitting.
Yeah.
This good match. It's a good pairing because it's a big house that hits hard against Mercedes, who bumps like a dragonfly hitting a fucking windshield. She's awesome, splatting herself all over the place, which is what happens in this match. Mercedes gets to do some of her like lucha libre stuff, which she doesn't always get to do, but when she's got a bigger opponent, it works real well, which it does here. There's a series of meteoras exchanged between the two that both look great. Mercedes then does the top rope one, goes for the Eddie, the trio suplexes that she's been doing her whole career. and Zeuxis hits this fucking lung blower. Like,
a lot of lung blowers.
Transfers it into double underhook, pulls her up into a straight up. So Mercedes is straight up and down position.
And she turns
into the lung blower.
Oh, legs back.
And it looks brutal. And then she sells like she sells. So
that should be a finisher.
Dead person.
Yeah.
I think she actually had to get to the ropes for that to kick out of that. I think it was right near the corner, and then she got foot on the rope. After another series of back and forth, I didn't want to get too in depth because I talked so much about the 6-man. Mercedes hits the best looking moneymaker she's done so far. It actually is making me start to believe that maybe she can use this because this chick was huge.
Yeah,
that she did it against. It was super fast and real fluid and it looked great.
Yeah.
And I didn't think she was able to do that against somebody that big.
I have to definitely watch that too because I'm not a fan of it. So
neither was
just
I.
Need
honestly.
more evidence.
I'm not 100% on board with her keeping it still.
Yeah.
But this is 2 or 3 matches in a row now where I'm like, all right, it was smooth and good.
Right.
And this was against the most difficult opponent to do a smooth looking one too.
Yeah.
I still think you're setting yourself up for failure by having such a convoluted setup. But if you can do it this quick every time, great.
Yeah. And that's really the key. It's when you gotta do 19 moves to get to the move. It's all right.
Exactly. I mean, that's what made it kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Is that you got to get there. Well, this wasn't a get there. This was boom. That's it. Done.
Well, good. To be fair, though, she did it.
It could be a credit to Zeuxis too.
Didn't she do it less than 5 times before she got to AEW? Maybe twice.
She only had 5.
Maybe once.
She had because she had 5 total matches in New Japan.
So
or something.
We'll give her a pass.
They then put that awesome Mina Shirakawa video package that I said they need to put this on TV.
Oh, they finally did?
They put it up on the one that was on Reddit, and I'm like, why? We need this on so everybody can see it. They put that up. And then we got a segment with Renee and Timeless Tony and Mariah May in the back. Mariah thanks Tony for entering her into the Owen Cup. She says Mina wants to come next week and do a contract signing, and then Mariah will be happy to host it because she knows it'd be kind of awkward, so I'll host it and make things smooth or whatever. And then Renee says, well, before that, Tony, you have a match on Rampage against somebody I'd never heard of, which I don't know why they're doing that, but Tony Storm's response made it worth it. She says, oh, what a tangled web we weave when everyone wants to take a shot at this wide load that holds the gold. Nevertheless, her chin persisted, her tits persevered, and she always watched for the shoe. Come, Mariah, I'm ready for my personal wax. So it was worth it that they're giving her some bullshit eliminator against somebody I've never heard of on Rampage.
Right.
To get that little promo.
Okay. I'll take it.
TV time with the learning tree was next. He's not changing the fucking voice, and it was not cultish enough for me to hope that your booking was what's going to happen. It was too much. I don't know. Too much of the voice. I can't do the voice. There were good things about this segment, which I'll talk about, and the rest of it is just the voice. And it was the Redwood out first, and he announcing Jericho. He says, "Here's the Socrates of pro wrestling, the guru of giving back, the Michael Jordan of Michael Jordans, the learning tree, Chris Jericho." Excalibur says, "Big Bill meant Socrates." Jericho doing the screamy bullshit. I'm not even going to talk about it. The Bad Apple is getting very good, though. He says, because they're in Iowa, and Jericho is talking about teaching them how to grow corn properly.
Okay.
Bad Apple says, "You want to grow your lame ass corn? You better respect Chris Jericho." So it was very amusing to me. What this leads to is the Private Party come out. They eventually trick Jericho into getting up on the top rope because he's trying to show them how to properly get on the top rope.
Yeah.
They nut him and then beat the other two guys up, which means they're definitely losing this feud. Mm-hmm. But they can stand tall at the end of this. Bang Bang Gang backstage next. Card Blade is fucking back. So
okay.
We got Card Blade. And Juice cutting a promo. Just saying that the Collision Cowboys are back, taking on the House of Black, coming up on Collision. So that's your 6-man coming up. Juice says, Youngstown, Ohio, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. Your asses are getting kicked. You get it? You ain't down with that. Got guns 2 words for you. Guns up.
Yep.
At this point, Daniel Garcia beats the shit out of Nick Camarado with something called Jacoby Watts. I guess they're Rampage people.
Jacoby Watts, the guy from Papa Roach?
Nick Camarado is Jacoby Watts is the name I have.
No, I'm looking. Yeah.
Match went 1 minute 11 seconds.
I thought there was only one Jacoby, and he was the singer for Papa Roach. That's not him.
I don't even know if I physically saw the man. I saw Nick Camarado's big, like, 1987 Monday primetime looking ass out there.
He would have been good in Los Barriquas. Very hairy.
Yes. Yeah, he's a house too, and Garcia beat the fucking shit out of him. He basically hit him with that back suplex he does. It looks like he's dropping you right on your head. Mm-hmm. And then right into that finisher again, that guillotine choke into ref starts to go for the arm and he just pulls him away and hits him with that spike DDT thing he does. Code Red.
Oh damn!
That's it.
I'm looking at it right now.
The finish?
Yeah,
it looks dope.
It's a 1918.
Who is that?
Finn Balor. It's like where he trapped. Yeah, that's a 1918.
Oh yeah, I guess he.
Yeah. He hooks
the
one
difference
arm.
being the choke part is I like that.
No, I
lead in.
Well, that's.
But yeah, the DDT is very much.
Especially if you're an MMA guy and you know how to choke a guy properly. That's. Why is?
But it's 2 shows in a row now. They got fucking Daniel Garcia beating the shit out of somebody and dominating.
I'm for it.
And doing going into the crowd then post match and celebrating and people are loving him and all that stuff. Then. Oh, they also during this 1 minute match, they cut to both MJF watching the match, on a TV back, and also Will Ospreay in a different part watching this match. So everybody's super interested in Daniel Garcia. Right after the match, then Renee tries to grab Billy Goat for a quick interview, but he's like, I've got something on my hands right now, bruv, and I've got this contract to hand over. He's holding the contract, and it's about to be his match. We then get a Pac pre-tape promo. It's another good thing. He says, "What a triumphant return!" I can't do a Geordie accent. What a triumphant return to the company. Loss after loss, failure after failure. He's shitting on himself. I'm supposed to be a bastard, but I feel like a bitch. Good news is that ends now. I'm angry again. And I'm at my very best when I'm angry. Pac is entering the Owen Cup. So Pac is the next name in the Owen Cup.
Didn't MJF just cut that promo kind of last week?
This will be my... MJF would never call himself a failure. No. This was straight up Pac saying, he said, I have failed.
He said, I'm better when I'm angry. That part.
Oh, yeah. That. But the crux of this pay-per-view was he actually says I'm humiliated by my win-loss record since my quote-unquote triumphant return. So yeah, he was entering himself into the Owen, says that this is going to be my redemption story. The tournament already looks fucking insane. So then the main event is next. Like I said, it was the
main event of the evening.
Thank you. My coal is keeping me from my duties.
I got you, boo.
The way that I looked at this match is if I took somebody who never really watched wrestling or who hasn't watched wrestling in the last 10 years and just showed them this match, they would get their fucking tits blown off. Absolutely. It's amazing. But Will Ospreay has evolved as a wrestler beyond what this match was, which was a super fun spot fest. Yeah. There was a bunch of really cool, dueling Hurricane Ranas where they both landed on their feet.
Yeah.
Shit that we've seen them do, but nobody else can do.
Right.
So it looked awesome. It all looked awesome, but there just wasn't enough psychology or whatever in it. My favorite moment of the actual match, until the finish, which the finish was amazing, was they kind of screwed a thing up where Ospreay had to do a thinking on your feet thing, and he invented a move. It was a better air raid crash. I heard him talking about it afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, I was gonna just transition into the air raid crash, bruv, but then I thought the air raid crash is shite, bruv." so he did a different move. He just invented a move in the middle of the match. It was great. But the finish was the best. So like I should have mentioned as Ospreay was coming out to the ring, Swerve is in the front row, like where Roddy and them were sitting for Collision.
Right.
That's where Swerve is currently sitting with Nana, and Ospreay hands the contract to Swerve as he's coming into the ring. The finish for this match, though, saw Ospreay up on the top rope with the prone Phoenix in the ring. Ospreay, he just stands on the top rope, by the way, like a bird. Like he's as comfortable standing on the turnbuckle as I would be standing on the floor of my room right now.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Turns to Swerve and just says, "My house," and then hits the Swerve stomp on Phoenix, then the hidden blade for the victory. Swerve gets in the ring, not on mic, but they made their very wise choice to switch to the cam mic, I think, because you could hear everything they were saying, and they jawing back and forth. It just was awesome. Swerve basically was saying, "You're not ready to carry these two belts. You can't do it," and like kind of goes to turn away, and Ospreay like snatches the belt, so he puts both on his shoulders, and he's like, "Feels pretty good to me, bruv." And when Swerve takes it back, gets right in his ear, and is like, "You're lucky we're friends, because anybody else did this, I'd put him in the fucking grave." And I was like, everybody comes away from this looking like a goddamn super duper star. Great build for their match. Both feel like they're at the top of the world right now. I love the way that the show ended. Like this match, I don't even know what I would give it as like star rating wise, because like for all intents and purposes, it should be like a 4.75 star match. Yeah. Except I know that Ospreay's got way more in him as far as psychology goes and stuff. Yeah. And it just wasn't there as much. And I'm afraid if they sign Ricochet, that's exactly what we're gonna get from them, because I've never seen Ricochet do the stuff that Ospreay can do now. Like,
but also too, Ricochet has been sitting patiently on his hands for years now.
Yes.
So he's going to want to do. He's seeing what
it'll be fun to see him like with the cuffs off to do whatever you want again.
Look what old man Edge
I don't know if he can do like the stuff that makes Ospreay great.
We don't know.
Truly great. I don't know if Ricochet's got that in him or not. So maybe it'll be interesting if he ends up signing there. Yeah. I really hope he goes to New Japan, because I think that would be the best thing for him and for them. But this matchup looks holy shit amazing. Yeah. These two have incredible.
Talking about Phoenix and Ospreay.
Ospreay and Swerve, which is how the show ended. Phoenix and Ospreay was really, really good match, but I've seen better from Will, like on AEW. But the way the show ended was the face-off between the two superstars, and it was electric. Great.
I was watching it on YouTube while you narrated it, and you oddly were in every position that I was at when I was watching.
Really?
Yeah. Like when he's like, "Oh, he leaned into his ear and said, if it was anybody else, they put him in a grave," and he mouthed "grave" as you said.
That's nice.
It was very, very nice.
Apparently, I've caught a cold.
It's like a watch along.
This podcast somehow. I love the Sussex County chicken so much that it gave me a cold.
Sure.
Yeah, but like my takeaway is this is one of the best Dynamites of the year.
I'm pretty excited to go home and watch the goddamn show. But
it was one of the best Dynamites of the year.
Yeah,
you could skip the Jericho thing. I would say, except I watched the Redwood and the Bad Apple. Yeah, because they're both great, especially the Bad Apple at the end. But everything else on the show was like home run. Yeah, it was one of the best of the year.
Can't wait to watch it.
And for everybody else that's listening right now, if you haven't already, go check out our WWE iteration of the Blue Thunder Pod, which drops at the same time as this, as well as our prediction show, our mini prediction show for Clash at the Castle. You guys can find us on socials, Twitter/X, at Blue Thunder Pod, TikTok Blue Thunder Pod, Instagram Blue Thunder Pod, YouTube at The Blue Thunder Pod, and all of the above at BlueThunderPod.com. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you again next week.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye, bruv. Goodbye, bruv.